you know, because we're finishing off Group A simultaneously over on the B stream with Liquid and RNG. These teams have no idea, right? They're going to give it 100% RNG as well. If we look at the, I don't know if we have the graphic ready for Group A, but this is the last matches already for Group A. So we're closing out the groups and we're going to be determining tiebreakers. There's a couple of different scenarios. We might have it all settled and just down to the algorithm, or we could have even a best of 3 round robin, or sorry, best of 1s round robin with 3 tied teams at the end of this.
That'd be exciting.
Right, if that happens, right, then they could play multiple times, and if they play multiple times up to 3, you know, maybe we could get to build your own grand final.
Pictionary, maybe.
Yeah.
Do a Pictionary match.
We could do a Pictionary match. That's exciting. No, we're going to see how TSM performs, because last match that we saw from them, I know you guys got to catch that, but it had a rather early GG from them. It was not the best moment.
No.
Did you guys think that GG was justified, or you feel like there was a little bit of anger coming into it, or emotions, let's call it?
I think it might have been the emotions for sure, right? Because that was going to be versus their RNG match, which they lost 2-0 at the end of the day yesterday. But to be honest, when you take a look at their drafts, and considering it was their second match of the day in which they also lost 2-0, it might have been better for the mental, you know? I never really want to like step into the team. I've never been a professional player. I don't want to like be diagnosed in the you know, the team culture and whatever that, you know, I'm not a Redditor. But, you know, their win conditions were really difficult. They were playing that second game on an Arc Warden with a bounty hunter, you know what I mean, and a Wisp. So the way back into the game for them would have required RNG to make a lot of mistakes, and as we know, China not really famous for making mistakes.
Let's get to meet their opponents first, though, because we can talk about mental game as much as we want, but there's no speculation about who conforms this team, and that is OG.
I think our performance this year has been splendidly, like, amazing. I think we exceeded all the expectations. We already qualified the TI, we already won a major. We have exceeded all the expectations and made for us, especially with the new players in our team that had no experience from before. So even if we start losing or whatever, it's like, we all can be happy with what we have achieved, and hopefully we keep improving. We did not get the opportunity to play a lot against the other regions yet. I think the only region we haven't played against is China. I think China is going to be in this tournament too, so it's going to be nice to play against the Chinese teams. I think they have a lot that we can learn from. It will be interesting to see how they play. I don't really fear any teams, I will say. I feel like when it comes to losses or winning, it's all up to us, pretty much. It's up to us how we try and how we take the games. If you went to the grand finals, I would like to meet Team Liquid. The main reason why I want to meet them there was because me and Insani is also like, we talk about exchanging jerseys on stage. If you get to the stage together, we play against each other. And also I just want to beat them, you know?
Got to hear Taiga's thoughts a little bit before this match. Don't mention the TSM, unfortunately, which would have been really hype, but we don't record these right before the matches because the players are definitely training right now. Here we see the full roster. Now the real roster of OG. So this is not even a rematch, it's actually a new match for OG versus TSM.
Yeah, I suppose so. And of course we see the flowing locks of Misha there in the background, and we were highlighting it yesterday when they were in that really difficult matchup against Team Liquid. It was oftentimes Misha's play. We gave him the MVP for that series because his Bane was on point, chef's kiss.
Yeah, and I think it's important that you mentioned that this is, yes, a rematch, but it's also kind of a remake, slightly different team, right? Not only is Seb going to make a big difference, obviously not playing the position 5 Windrunner or whatever he had played, all in the grand finals and for them throughout the Stockholm Major, but quite importantly, Chuvash is also here on site.
Yes.
And having the coach with you physically, I do think makes a very big difference for this team.
For sure. Last time we know that they were communicating through Discord. Notil will actually come by, have the phone, be like, Chuvash is saying this, guys. But it's much different when you have the coach physically here. The other team who has their coach here, it also had them in the major, is TSM. Mystery has been coaching now for a while, and he seems to be looking really good with the team. So let's get to meet them a little bit more.
How does it feel to be here? It feels good. I've enjoyed my stay so far. I never imagined myself coming to the Middle East to play video games, and I guess it happens now. So it's cool to see how games have progressed, and now you get to see all over the world. Well, it's really hot. I think that's an obvious one, but it's still pretty shocking. Every time I go outside, it's really hot. Hospitality is nice. I like my room. I like the hotel. People have been very nice. My flights were really nice too. That's something very important because as a player, when the flights are bad, it tends to affect you a lot, especially the first days. So having a nice flight was really good. After the major and like the past year since like last TI, I had to learn how to like control my ego as a player, not as a person, because like I go around and I tell you, oh yeah, I got second place, you know. But it's more like I felt like I was really good and I wasn't playing well. And I expected myself to play well by default instead of realizing that I need to play. I need to do the things that make me play well. I'm not just gonna play well. That's gonna become the focus for us. I like to believe that everyone just focus on taking the next step as a person to achieve those things. I mean, my name is out there and people know I'm from Peru. Like they know that I grew there and I started playing DOTA there. And most of my career has been in Peru. So it definitely shows that people have the potential to like, you know, people from Peru, I mean, like to go to another team and perform, you know, and just because they're like from a weaker region, because throughout history it's always been a weaker region, doesn't mean that there is a potential to have good teams, good players. But I think it does help, like indirectly, but it does help. My expectations for this event, they're the same as any event. I just play my game. I believe I practice a lot, but I believe in my team, I believe in myself. So I know that if we do our usual game that we've been practicing, we'll see how far we can go. No expectation, just whatever happens, happens.
Estimado Orgullo Peruano, as we always say, one of the men that made it out of the South American scene into play in NA, where he actually also had half his career at this point. What do you think this representation means in general for South Americans? It's a pretty big deal, right, Dan?
Oh, absolutely. You know, you see other people like Lelis, for example, making waves, and yeah, I'm really impressed with how far Timado has been able to come.
Richie, does Timado ever encourage you to want to learn Spanish?
Are you kidding me? Yeah, I mean, of course, right? It'd be great speaking some Spanish with the boys in Stockholm, but yeah, always keen to learn more, right?
Of course. So now we're going to get ready to see them as we walk out onto the stage.
أعزائنا المشاهدين والحضور، رجعنا لكم مرة ثانية في المسرح نقدم لكم المباراة الأخيرة من جروب A اللي زي ما احنا عارفين هي جدا متقاربة النقاط حقتهم، وممكن ينتج من المباراة هذه تاي بريكر جدا مهم ما بين فريقين جدا أقوياء، فخلونا نشوف ايش اللي بيطلع معهم في النتيجة. لكن الفريق الأول اللي بيكون معنا هو فريق في المركز الثاني حاليا في جروب A، وعنده فرصة انه يتصدر القائمة، يكون في المركز الأول، يتأهل كفيرست سيد من جروب A. فخلونا نرحب فيهم. أول فريق راح يكون معنا إن شاء الله على المسرح اللي هو فريق OG.
EU needs an opponent, and that opponent is going to be the representation of NA. Often maybe a shaky start, but they still hold their own destiny in their own hands, and they will fight tooth and nail for it here on the main stage. Welcome to the stage, TSM. stage is set for an impressive match. On one side, you have a team fighting for their survival in this tournament. Anything less than an emphatic victory for TSM will lead to their elimination. On the other side, OG, if they are able to get a decisive victory here, they will knock Nigma down into the quarterfinals and proceed to the semis. Everything to play for in such a hype match. We need to dissect this one. Let's get ready to head across the panel.
مباراة جدا مصيرية لكل الفريقين. فريق TSM عنده فرصة انه يستمر معنا الى البلاي اوف في حالة انه فاز كل البست اوف 2 لصالحه، لكن بنفس الوقت فريق OG عنده فرصة جدا عالية انه يتأهل كفيرست سيد. فخلونا نشوف هل فريق OG يقدر يسويها او انه يبودينا تاي بريكر، او ممكن انه يعطي فرصة TSM انه يرجع معنا الى البلاي اوف وبيكون عندنا تاي بريكر مختلف تماما. اعزائنا المشاهدين والحضور، كلنا جاهزين وكلنا ننتظر هاللحظة. اخر مباراة في جروب A، نتوجه على طول عند الاستديو التحليلي نتكلم عن المباراة ونبدأ على طول.
Thank you, guys. I think KP said it best, right? They're not the representatives of NA, they're the representation of NA. Moonmeander, the embodiment of that NA spirit, a man who keeps on trying no matter the odds. Well, I mean, maybe not yesterday, but in general, a man who has endured probably some of the hardest situations, a lot of difficulties, many teams, many regions actually for him, and his speeches always come out on top.
Oh, by far. I mean, as someone that was a fan of him back in the Hon days, you just got to get on his level because he is that steadying voice. You know, he's the veteran of this team. So let's see if he's able to drag his team across the line in what is a very important, as Killer Pigeon was saying, matchup for both teams. You know, both have so much to play for. OG want that straight path to be able to play for that top 4 spot, guaranteed. TSM, they need to try and force tiebreakers with a 2-0.
Richie, what are your expectations for this match? You think TSM can do it? Because their form has not been as good as OG's this tournament.
No, it hasn't, right? That's a little bit of the scary thing. OG is coming off of what was kind of a humbling 1-1, right?
Sure.
I mean, you take a look at their defeat versus Nigma and the lineup that Nigma was presenting, and it was certainly one that it wasn't necessarily a little bit of an outdraft, but also just like out-executed as well by Nigma, right? So a humbling experience for, like, for example, BZM, and especially when he was trying to go for the aggros with Invoker, tipping Kuroki as soon as he misses an Impale, and then he misses, you know, BZM misses the Sunstrike bottom onto Kuro, gets tipped back, you know? So a nice humbling experience for the younger ones, as I'm sure Kuro would say, and well, we'll see here how they can do versus the NA representatives, as you say.
I'm excited. Excited to see how it pans out. I mean, the drafts are going to be interesting for sure. We've seen some Arc Wardens come out. We saw in the previous series on the B stream, I know you were flaming me for hating on it a lot, but that POS 1 Abaddon didn't work. That POS 1 Bounty Hunter didn't work. It didn't work.
Stop.
They lost both games, Tundra.
I did not say anything about POS 1 Bounty Hunter, okay? I'll maybe give you that, but the POS 1 Abaddon has worked in the past, is all I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not entirely unsold on it.
Yep. TSM are on a bit of a drive streak, so it would kind of explain why they're experimenting a little bit with their drafts recently. The Arc Warden, Naga Siren, Storm Spirit, like all in their last 2 games, right? Not really the most popular of heroes we've seen in this meta. Yes, they are pushing it. Yes, they've already qualified for TI, you know, so one could say, well, what do they have to lose? They're just kind of maybe playing around with things, seeing how they feel in the current meta, trying to learn, but you know, we'll see here what they can present and as they look to try and force the tiebreakers.
Yeah, I mean, we see a lot of the popular heroes, obviously Tiny still at the very peak. It's the one that's been picked most so far this tournament, but not really at all as a position 1 and kind of rarely as a position 2. I mean, it's seeing a lot more players that POS 4, but where I'm seeing the meta be for this patch is that a lot of the POS 5s are just getting away with free games. You know, they don't actually have that jump to be able to catch them on the backlines. The positioning is getting a lot better. It's a lot more adaptable. So someone like a Warlock, for example, that is very immobile, oftentimes has the freedom to be able to have a free team fight. So I want to see if either of these teams are able to counter that, perhaps with going for that extra dive. You mentioned the Storm Spirit previously, Richie.
Right.
I want to see a bit more of that.
Well, I mean, TSM is the team that has liked to cancel that, right? I mean, this is Saberlight, Undying, Nightstalker are probably his one, maybe 2 favorite heroes alongside the Mars. He loves to run down supports, right? To the point where Nigma actually in their 2-0 win over them was able to exploit that with some really clever drafting, you know what I mean? So sometimes that's just not enough. You need to be able to execute with your own kind of lineup and switch up the strats when you're presented with these big, you know, 9-head captains like your Kuros and in this case now against Chuvash and the rest of OG.
Yeah, it's going to be challenging for sure. I want to see. I think the bans is really where it's going to all come together here for both teams, to be honest, right? Because you want to make sure that you're taking away the things that OG have, which I think their strength is their flexibility. You know, we saw Amar playing a couple of games of Void Spirit yesterday. You know, offlane Void Spirit. How often do you see that? We saw him also play the DK. They picked the exact same 3 heroes, Bane, Phoenix, DK. DK was flexed between that position 2 and position 3, depending on which situation, which role was more beneficial for that. So I'm really keen to see how TSM might try and counter that a little bit. Maybe they take away some of those heroes, but you don't want to go too far and be too blinded about other opportunities.
Let's see as the draft is about to begin here. Do you guys think that TSM has planned any strategies against the weirder picks here for OG?
I don't know about the
particularly
weirder picks because I don't know how much you can really prepare for that, right? We saw that like when LGD just, you know, not first picked the Razor necessarily, but last picked the Lone Druid both games, right, in their opening series. I don't know if you can really prepare for that so much as you can prepare for like the Timbersaw first phase. What are you going to do with this, right? We saw Enigma completely ignore it game 1. They kind of paid the price with that yesterday, right? So I'm eager to see how TSM look to address, let's be honest, one of the most intimidating offlaners right now, which is Amar.
And TSM were one of those teams that was actually picking a hero like the Chen before this tournament. You know, Dubu was doing it a reasonable amount in the NADPC, and Puppey has been pretty much flawless on it so far this tournament on Secret. I mean, if there's any player that's synonymous with the Chen, it's Puppey. You know, going all the way back towards the very start of Dota 2. So I wonder if they've used their time wisely. Of course, they've got Misery, the coach. They've got the time to be able to look over some of these replays and see, okay, well, how are they actually looking to try and exploit this? Because I feel like it's such a strong hero right now.
Okay, so where do you think the strength of the hero lies on?
It's like the Hand of God isn't that effective, to be perfectly honest. But again, it's these heroes that don't dive the backlines really effectively, being a bit further out of the meta. So you see, I'm pretty sure Puppey in all of his games yesterday, he didn't die a single time when he played the Chen. So it's just a lot easier to survive. You build the mech, you're able to provide that extra layer of survivability for not only yourself, but the rest of the team.
Okay.
There it is. The Timbersaw ban first phase from TSM as we do start off the draft.
Razor, do you think it's going to get banned too?
I would say so. I think it's just really versatile hero. We've seen it played in the mid lane as well by BZM, I believe, in a previous series. Actually, no, it was Sumail that played it with a really high level of effectiveness. He absolutely stomped his opponent on it. So I want to see if they're able to switch that up a little bit. And I think you just got to get rid of these heroes that you're not giving anything away in the draft. As long as you're picking, banning out something like a Bloodseeker, you're fine.
They will. This is now the 5th time in a row that TSM play versus OG and ban the Razor first phase. They did it all 4 games in the Stockholm Major Grand Finals.
Oh, they were prepared for this though. The instant Viper comes out and then the Marcy Tiny combination. Tiny obviously not so much for the lane itself, but Marcy so good at being able to gap close and then just put Viper in this really vulnerable position. Terrible movement speed, not great armor and movement speed to be able to begin with, and HP as well. So yeah, you're a sitting duck if you just draft a aggressive lane here on TSM.
And if I can just bring up one more stat as well, because this is a good adjustment by OG. Yes, they did win over in Stockholm, but the next ban by TSM, again, in all 4 games of the Grand Finals, was always the Viper. So it's another hero that TSM have not wanted OG to play, hence the snap pick immediately there. So I thought that was a pretty cool development in the drafting meta between these 2 teams.
It's nice, as we mentioned, that they've prepared something for it. Tiny also repositioned, so in the off chance that the Viper wants to go into some sort of core role, Tiny also has the option to cancel that pretty hard. And as Marcy can go either 4 or 5, no matter what lane Viper goes to, either has 5 or has 3, you can punish that.
We're leaving some flexibility open. Obviously, you see the Viper, you think Amar's going to play it, right? Like, he is such a good player on this hero. But, like I mentioned before, he was playing the DK yesterday. He was playing the DK at the Stockholm Major, and he was looking pretty damn good on it. It doesn't matter if he needs to be aggressive. He bought, like, Aether Lens and stuff at Stockholm Major because Seb was taking all of his farm. Like, he has that ability to change up his playstyle, his itemization. So, maybe they're just thinking, all right, let's leave our options open. You want to try and snap pick this Marcy in response to the Viper and just dumpster me in lane? You can't really do that quite as easily with a DK.
Yeah. I'm curious, because you talked about Tiny being mostly played as a 4 this tournament. Do you feel like the part of the reason why that's the case is because you pick it early and then it gets countered by these kind of picks, like, for example, the DK with the Breathe Fire? You know, we've seen a lot of Banes, for example, with the Enfeeble. Or do you feel like it is just better as a 4 right now?
I think it's really solid as a mid still. I mean, obviously the biggest matchup that you pick at 4 is the Puck, but Puck's just being banned out by almost everyone. Like, it is the highest banned hero of this tournament so far, so the level of effectiveness that you get out of the Tiny isn't anywhere near as strong.
Okay, fair enough. So mainly it's the puck reasoning you think is why the mid-tiny works so well.
Yeah, I mean, it's the change for the Avalanche stun intervals from 0.2 to 0.3 means that it just stuns for that little bit longer and you aren't able to phase shift out of it. I think there's like a tiny window at the top of the toss where you might be able to get off like a BKB or something, but it's really difficult to be able to pull off. So yeah, I feel like that's why it's been fallen out of the meta a little bit. But again, like we saw yesterday with the OG draft that had the DK and the Bane, which it still hasn't been banned out quite yet, you've got that damage reduction component as well. Obviously, it stacks additively. Level 10 on the DK, 55% damage reduction with your Breathe Fire. Then just 1 point in Enfeeble gives you another 45. That's 100% damage reduction, and then you really don't feel good about playing this tiny as a core.
Richie, you talked about how it's hard to prepare for these last picks, the Arc Warrens, the Lone Druids. So is it possible to just ban them all? Would that be the strategy for TSM here?
I don't think it's possible to ban them all, right? Because, I mean, now you can see they're setting up with something here with this Winter Wyvern pick, or ban, pardon, right? It's just a hero that's got, I think you said earlier, like a 66% win rate.
Pretty good.
Because it's just this huge position 5 teamfight reset that counters so many different heroes, and especially is punishing against Saberlight's kind of run-in style. You can see a couple of bans now for OG focusing into the off lane alongside the Enchantress.
Right. Not just the off lane, it's like this is push. They are building for the late game on OG right now, or just heroes like, for example, the Arc Warden that doesn't want to get run over. That's the hero's big weakness. You need to make sure you're hitting your timings and then abusing the pushing power that you've got on the map. So I really feel like OG are going to think, let's play for the late game. Like Viper, the way that we play it, if it is indeed a position 3 Viper, has that potential to be able to scale just because of how, not greedy, but farm intensive Amar likes to play it.
Yep, and there's the Phoenix pick, which is going to give some credence, or the logic for the Snapfire ban, making sure that you don't give just a pretty easy pickup for OG, who now have to seriously consider something. One of these heroes in the last 3 to actually, either jump and kill the egg or the Phoenix every single time. DK, maybe not the most reliable at reaching all the way back with the Icarus dive range, and of course a Viper who's not really got the attack speed to deal with it solo. So I like the Phoenix pick quite a bit. Much needed team fight for the side of TSM as well. Weak lane though. That you do set up for, especially into a DK.
I've seen Dubo solo carry so many games on his Phoenix. Like, he is a incredible Phoenix player. Moon can play it as well, so it's not guaranteed how their lanes are going to go right now. I'm just trying to theory craft what OG are going to go to be able to combat this, because Clockwork, while it's a really good hero, it doesn't feel great into, a Marcy that's just able to jump away or dispose a teammate out, or you can toss someone out of the cogs. Like, who do you actually go for? It's basically only for the Phoenix, and then I feel like you're a little too close-minded with your draft. Another hero that is somewhat capable of dealing with the Phoenix is something like a Mirana, which we haven't seen a lot of, but again, you're playing it into a Marcy. So if you just look to get that arrow follow-up to the DK stun, then a Dispose could sometimes just disrupt that combination pretty heavily.
They go for the team fight themselves instead of picking the Warlock, so that gives them some options as well, but nothing still to hit the egg, and nothing to disengage, which was the other option that used to exist against the egg. Just run away, right? With either Silencers or Centaurs, for example. What does this indicate to you from OG's draft?
I wonder if it's going to be a Juggernaut that they lane it with. Like, it's a pretty decent lane. Obviously, you get the Fatal Bonds off in the lane, you spin, it's a ton of damage, and it's a pretty good egg hitter. If the Tiny, well, it looks like Tiny is going to be played as a core role regardless of this DK pickup, it's decent enough, right? You're able to do some magic damage as long as you go into that Aghanim Shard with the Maelstrom at a decent timing. So I wouldn't hate seeing something like the Jug that's capable of dealing it. Even, honestly, a Lifestealer, not horrible this game.
Yeah, I'd like the Lifestealer just a little bit better because, like you're saying, with the Phoenix pick, it is going to be a Tiny in some sort of core capacity.
Okay. There's an egg hitter.
Yeah, that is certainly an egg hitter. The Overpower, and of course a Fury Sweep. It's not quite the level 1 Roche we just saw on the main stage before, but certainly also does give you some Roche threat early on, and some pretty darn good Shard carriers this game. I would imagine the DK in any position is going to have his by the time second Roche is up, but certainly maybe the Warlock or even the Ursa, of course, is probably going to take his there.
Okay. The Enrage, of course, also dealing with those spirits pretty decently. Also gives you a really strong lane in Ursa Warlock. Hard to kind of just bully this lane out, but not the highest synergy? I mean, there's not really much synergy, honestly, between the two heroes.
No, not a ton. I mean, I think you just want to be able to trade really effectively in lane, and I think you're going to be able to do that. I wonder what they're going to go with this last pick. I wouldn't hate something like I was about to say a Void Spirit, just because I feel like you need something that's going to build into a Yule Scepter against this.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that you're able to get rid of the Fatal Bonds on yourself. You want to make sure you can get rid of the Shadow Word. You want to make sure you can get rid of the Overpower, plus mitigate the effectiveness of the Enrage on the Ursa. But they go with Veno instead.
Yeah, I was going to say, they can choose to... The thing with the TSM, I was like, either they pick the safe laner on 8th and then protect it with 2 more bans, or they just get like a fantastic lane against this Ursa Warrior. That's what they're going to decide to go for here.
Is it that good though? I mean, but you're against a Warlock, man. The Veno's damage over time is gradual, and then you've got that the Shadow Word to be able to negate that. You're able to still look to farm, pull the wave a little bit. There's no stuns with this, unless it's a Marcy position 4, then it might be a little bit harder.
Yeah.
But then even later on into the game, right, you're going to probably be getting this Aghanim Shard on the Ursa, and then Veno just falls off massively in terms of his effectiveness.
Sure.
The lane is good, mid-game nowhere near as much.
Yeah, it's very much a lane pick, but it does give some AoE damage as well to TSM and some pretty scary team fight. The vision as well, advantage to try and make it more difficult for Warlock to get in position and drop a good golem from range. The DK stun as well is going to be a lot harder to connect onto this Tiny or Phoenix. So it does give you that advantage as well in the team fights here with using the Plague Wards.
They have 2 very different distinctive playstyles that they're going to be going for this game as well. TSM, just look at the heroes that they have. Who actually wants to just stand there and hit a tower? Nobody. Like maybe a Tiny if it gets to the ultra late game, but then you're just setting yourself up to get gone on by the entire team. TSM, it feels weird because I'm about to say they're all on pickoff, but like Venomancer, Phoenix, they're not like this super quick damage as well, right? So you're going to need to find a squishy target, burst it down, turn a 5v5 into a 5v4 in your favor. Whereas on OG, they want to be the ones to force that reaction. You've got a DK that can stand in the Elder Dragon form and push a tower. You've got a Viper that can do the same sort of thing. So I'm really thinking that TSM needs someone that actually wants to be a little bit more of that frontline presence that they can rally around if the game needs it.
Yeah, it's pretty slow, but I'm along OG's line of thinking here, banning some illusion heroes that want to do exactly that. TSM, like I said, they brought out the Naga Siren before. Not a bad lane at all versus the DK, right? You got the Dispel, it's looking really good as well this game, right? So I might see OG consider a ban for that.
Even the TB, I mean, we've seen how effective Tomato on his TB can be. I mean, they don't really have a ton of great ways to be able to deal with the TB illusions right now, and as long as he can just stand there, you are a little bit more survivable, I suppose, because of your high armor against a lot of these right-clicking style of heroes. So, yeah, I wouldn't hate seeing something like a TB because your counter initiation is just so strong.
I think they might go for something with a Dispel in lane, right? That's why they banned the Jug as well. But the CK lane is just really strong, honestly, with a Marcy potentially, that you can just get kill after kill, even if you put the Viper there. It's too scary, right? So I think potentially TSM, some kind of illusion here. But for OG first, as they need to define their roles, right?
I mean, it's most likely a 4, right? Because you're thinking Viper, DK, Ursa cores.
Okay, maybe not.
Okay, so Viper, Warlock are the supports?
I'm wondering if it's a DK4.
Could be a DK4, right?
Sure. The Puck now being picked into a lineup that has no real consistent stunts. Dispose actually is quite a long cast animation, so it's hard to get the Puck with that.
This makes that Void Spirit pick a little bit more viable now, though. It's not bad against the Puck. It's one of those few things that has that pick-off potential with the Yule Scepter into the Remnant, into other stuns that are going to be coming out. Maybe a Carry Tiny?
I think they're pretty fine with the mid-Tiny, though, like for all the reasons you brought up earlier in the draft, you know what I mean? I think they can kind of get their dream carry pick here. OG were banning for it as well, right? So I think TSM might still, I mean, the TB against the Puck's a little scarier, but I don't know, maybe they'll still hit him.
Yeah, the PL, honestly.
That's
it looks kind of like a good PL game.
And I really don't want to say that because, I mean, so many times there's like a good PL game and he just falls completely flat, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm thinking like PL, Naga Siren, like one of these really annoying illusion heroes with a Dispel in lane just to completely tear apart. Because Ursa's going to have a bad start, right? So you're not going to have to worry about the carry coming in super fast. And it is the TB, yeah.
Okay, so they go for the consistent carry over what could be the better carry, but certainly TB something that you can rely on much more so, and also should have a good lane.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we don't know yet. We're going to see once we get into the game.
Yeah, but DK or Viper.
Yeah, what the actual roles are for OG, but it certainly means that this is a little bit more of a passive lane for TSM. The TB plus the Phoenix, not the highest amount of damage, if that is indeed what they're going to go down. Sure. So I think this might be the DK4 and then the Viper position 3 because that kill threat isn't quite as strong.
Okay. What are the final predictions then, Dano?
I am going to say OG, just because I don't think this Venomancer is going to be able to transition into that mid-game to the effect that TSM might like.
Richie, any belief in the Veno?
I kind of like Veno a little bit better than a core Viper as the game progresses, because if anything, at least you have vision, and you're much more concerned about trying to kill a Veno than a Viper at the start of a fight.
Right. And okay, interesting. But the Viper, even with a Mars Viper, that would be a consideration. Even the I will scale no matter what.
We don't know if it's a Mars Viper.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. We'll never find out. We never find out on this panel.
True,
No.
true.
I'm keen
We're
to
in
be
the dark.
proved wrong, certainly, right? There was that period of time where the Vipers were picking up like Satanics, and they were not Satanics, Scotties, and they were like building into real tertiary cores, secondary cores, right? I'm not sure what it's going to quite be in this lineup, but yeah, I just think Veno is still a little bit useful.
There's one thing I'm worried about for OG's side with that Ursa pickup. It gets to a point where TB, if he gets that uber farm, which of course it's Tomato, he's going to get a lot of farm, you're going to have that Skadi. You're going to have that ability to just stop him from running at you. So suddenly the impetus comes on them to be a little bit more of that pick-off focus to start the fight.
I'll see what our casters have to say about this game and who's playing what as we get into game 1 between TSM and OG.
Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, we're coming into a bit of a rematch here. It may not be the grand finals right now, but maybe with the way these results go, they both make the playoffs. And we get the rematch we're really hoping for, a BO3 grand final against these two teams. But there is revenge to be had, and we'll see if the revenge will be taken.
Yeah, but it's going to be very much on TSM, as we see the one skirmish ship, perhaps. Nah, just running out.
Yeah, not jaunting to the illusory orb, but OG putting some pressure on, and maybe they go for this. There's the rebound, obviously just level 1, so there's no disposed to follow that up. The Dragon Tail, that comes through on a Saberlight. He's on the run. The Fatal Bonds connect them all. The illusory orb is there, and Amar is going to get that first blood. So OG didn't look like they wanted to go for it until TSM made that aggressive jump with the Marcy.
Yeah, usually when both teams see each other like that, there wouldn't really be a first blood.
Right.
But yeah, you make the initiation happen and they get punished for it. Moomy, also he has a jump target on Ubu.
Well, he's got it. He jumped back. Oh dear, Moomeander. That's well, that's going to be another death, I suppose.
Oh.
But he does have the fairy fire, and they give up on it. I thought it would be another one. He put himself in between 3 heroes. That looked like certain death.
Some of the OG heroes actually gave up hitting him though because they thought he was going to jump out. So they're like, whoa, he's back in. But now he's extremely low in the lane, so he won't really be able to support the TB too well. But just regarding this match in general though, if TSM lose just a single map, they're out. So they have to 2-0 OG to force a tiebreaker against them.
Pressure's on.
Pressure is on indeed.
So one thing we saw in the draft is they banned the Timber, they banned the Razor on TSM, but you still pick the Viper.
Yeah.
And like, if you've been on a lot of pro teams, you've had a lot of experience with this. How do you ban for this? Like, it always feels like Amar just gets the hero he wants, and like then he just goes to the Void Spirit, even if you do put enough bans out.
Yeah, you only have 2 bans, so if you want to quote-unquote waste 2 bans on him, you know, you're just going to pick the 3rd hero. It's Viper, Razor, as well as Timbersaw, and you can't ban all of them, and he's very comfortable on all of them. So the right idea might just, you know, don't ban his heroes at all, perhaps.
And just focus on the rest of the team.
Yeah, give him too much choice.
We'll have to see. Bottom lane, there are 3 heroes here, but they're not level 2 on the side of TSM just yet. Not allowing them to go for this even more if they were to have the rebound as well as the dispose.
Yeah. This is looking real rough though. Like leaving a Venomancer solo, the hero is all about lane, right? Leaving him solo and losing the lane with him means he won't really have any sort of way back into the game. So I don't really like what TSM is doing here, to be honest.
There's the rebound, but again, no dispose. Not sure that's going to matter. The right clicks are coming in. Taiga getting low, but he survives with that fairy fire.
Yeah, still trialing bottom though. They want to shut down Amar, but is it worth losing a Venomancer for it?
I'm almost like of the crowd of people that believe it's impossible to shut down Amar.
Well, we'll see about
his
that.
lanes go poorly, right? And like yesterday, he's playing Timber, his game's not going that well, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, he's middle of the pack on the net worth. We're accustomed to him being top of the net worth. And where is he towards the middle late game? Top of the net worth. He just rebounds so well.
Yeah, but if you get away with that much against the tri-lane, that is an issue for TSM, obviously. Like, you tri-lane here to keep him down as much as possible, and Venomancer's not really too happy at all.
You weren't exactly impressed with that Venomancer pick.
Yeah, not the biggest fan of the hero.
Just a little bit of
Saberlight
back and
versus
forth.
Misha.
We've seen this Warlock a lot in the Chinese region. This is definitely a hero that has found its place as a solid 5 pick. A lot of 5s that offer that healing. Obviously, Warlock does with the Shadow Word, and the early Fatal Bonds is strong too. Like this hero, it's 4/4/0 with the Golem when available. It really can be disgusting. And then to think about what Upheaval does when you start getting it, like this hero is pretty strong from the 5.
Yeah, and Warlock is definitely a top-notch pick. Much more in China than in other regions, of course. But yeah, like he in this game also is going to look very, very strong. Because those team fights, he will probably always get a rock off, and coupled with the Fatal Bonds and the coil, you have like nice burst damage too coming from the Ursa. So Fatal Bonds are gonna do very, 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 very much. Misha is actually dead, I think.
Misha.
Oh, he's out.
They'll go for the TP out, but while that's happening, they do get themselves the kill on the Dragonite.
Yeah. So the tri-lane finally paying off with a kill. So the good thing is obviously Terrorblade is completely free farming. That's what you want. He counters Ursa fairly nice. Right, once you get up your Skadi, your BKB, they don't really have anything to deal with you. But until then, there's going to be a lot of pressure on him.
It'll be interesting to see who moves off the mid first and makes that aggressive play. Bryle was back in base, he TP's back to mid. We obviously Puck, a very valuable hero when it comes to anywhere past 6, right?
Yeah.
You've got that Dream Coil, you have a lot of mobility, you can really make team fights happen early on. So it'll be interesting to see how BZM approaches this, especially once he gets there. And against this tri-lane where I feel like you might even have some success picking off these supports if they're not too careful.
I'm really surprised.
And just the toss, okay.
Yeah, there shouldn't be any. Mid lane should never be any kills. Like if a kill happens, it's just a misplay on either side.
Or support comes over.
Or support comes over, exactly. A solo kill is very rare in Dota nowadays because everyone is so good at the game. I'm actually really surprised that Saberlight is having such a good game. He's level 5. 1v2.
They're going to go in. They've got the Icarus dive. There's the dispose. Dragon Tail comes out from Taiga. Amar dropping low, probably going to burn out and will fall to Dubu. All Taiga can do is really just watch it. He throws a stun, but that's it.
Yeah, they did not expect that tri-lane. One of the bigger weaknesses of Warlock is he is not great in tri-lanes. Right? You need that experience, you need fast level 6, you really don't want to be shutting down your levels too much. My biggest worry is just how much Saberlight is getting, honestly. 1v2, that should not happen.
Yeah, he seems like he's super free right now.
Oh, Taiga's dead.
In some trouble, and by some trouble, it's more like he's dead on his screen already. He'll fall. You've got Tomato getting another kill, and it's just, he's 1-0-2. He's 33-15 in the CS. Everything coming up Millhouse right now for TSM.
Yeah, BZM needs that next rune. He's actually going to base. He's not even going to try to contest for that rune. And then we're probably going to see a coil rotation. Also look at Yuragi's item build. He's going for Midas first item on Ursa. He's getting pressured out of the lane by Saberlight. 1v2.
Yeah. And his build is 1-3-1, so high in the poison sting. He's using these plague wards to farm as well as he can, and it feels like Yuragi is kind of a little bit flustered with the way the lane's going, especially like you said, in a 2v1 situation for OG.
Yeah. Going Midas first on this hero is very unusual on the Ursa. Really greedy, doesn't really give you too much. They just can't aggress on him. No way. They'll need a Puck coil.
Which you'd like to see come, but right now TSM, they're bringing Bryle over. He's working with an arcane rune, he's got a full bottle, could wrap around if he finds the right opportunity. So as you see, OG, they're already getting behind their tower and into the trees as Bryle free to show himself as Saberwhite sieges the tower. And BZM, he's bottom.
Yeah. TB is not level 6 yet, so no Thunder opportunity.
Bryle under the tower and into the trees. They're going to try and make something of this, but they've got themselves the avalanche, the toss. Level 6 for Yuragi. He's forced to TP away. Misha may not be so fortunate, and it's looking like he's going to be food for thought. And the thought process is, hey, if we can't get Ursa, we'll take the Warlock.
Up to a 1k lead already. And yeah, the Trident actually worked out perfectly. We haven't really seen a Trident for quite a while. But if you have lanes like this, especially with Marcy, it makes a lot of sense. And honestly, I'm not entirely sure what this Ursa item build is about. Usually you go into the fast diffu or on the battlefield if you want to be greedy.
Avalanche out.
We're gonna half.
Oh gosh, this is Misha again, just not surviving the onslaught, but they do have the Dream
Nice
Coil
coil.
on it too. They will snap it on the Tiny. They get the kill on the Saberlight. They'll look over at Bryle. The Avalanche lands on both, but they've got the Waning Rift for the silence. He's under the tower. He'll look for the kill. He'll grab it before he dies. It's a double kill for BZM. And they lose the tower. It's a good couple of kills for BZM, who's going to have to now have the job of, hey, I need to open up the map for my Ursa.
Yeah, no, I mean, Ursa's still gonna go into the Diffuser Blade afterwards. It's just gonna delay all his timings by quite a bit. And if you're in a scenario where their late game is, I would say, quite a bit better, because Terror Blade destroys Ursa. Is that item really worth it? Will it backfire? I guess we'll find out in like 10 minutes or so.
Right. Who again now, Taiga, he's the one in trouble.
He might just be dead, he has no TP.
He could just get run down. Yeah, there's no TP, and Saberlight with no tier 1 tower there, he's free to just chase down this Dragonite. Taiga on the run, Saberlight, he's got the Plague Ward, he's still following, but he's not committing and maybe worried about now what lies towards the outpost and the tier 2, but that seemed like a kill for sure.
Yeah. He could have gotten the kill, but as you said, it's pretty risky to chase him down all the way. You never know who might or might not be TPing to the outpost.
So, Ursa does have that Midas.
Yeah.
Phase Diffusal.
Goes into the Morbid Mask next. Then into the Diffuser Blade. It's gonna be quite late. He knows Tiger's still up there. Oh, this time you're dead.
Yeah, rebound. And if they want it, they have the Dispose, but they don't need it. Avalanche as well as the Toss. Bryle's having a good game on this Tiny so far. 2-1-1. That death up top, he got the tower. It was kind of worth it. They also got another kill on Misha.
Yeah. And
See
Terror
the
Blade.
focus in Saberlight's eyes.
It's just free to farm. The triangle, the mid lane. This is like a perfect Terror Blade game so far. You got a tri lane, you're super happy there. And then you just start transitioning to full farm mode. Already into the Yasha, going Manta style first. Lots of nice spells to dispel in this game.
He's having a perfect game so far, but does OG's team fight scare him at all? With the Chaotic offering, the Dream Coil coming out, and then maybe what Amar can offer once he does get into the Rod of Atos, or he's also got the Dragonlance queued up.
It is pretty scary, but if you go like Manta into BKB, they don't really have any way to shut you down. And then once you get into the Skadi is really when the Ursa is mega afraid of you. So I'm expecting more of a defensive item build first, and then to the damage later.
Dubu taking that solo experience over bottom while the rest of the team is left. So he's got that level 6. He does have Supernova available. Amar already backing off the lane as Bryle moving forward with his Invis rune. They've got a Sentry, so they do see him. It's on its last legs. It's only got about 30 seconds left on the Sentry, but it works out in their favor. They've also got Misha behind, ready with a Chaotic offering if need be. So it's a very important moment here for TSM, because I think if Bryle dies again, it does open up a lot of opportunity for OG to just kind of feel confident and gain back what they've lost in the laning stage.
Yeah, especially because he's like pretty much the only stunner. Sure, Marcy's a stun too, but it's not really easy to land at all.
We've seen Moon have trouble with it in this tournament.
He didn't actually go for Blink Dagger on Tiny, which is very curious, because they don't really have any form of initiation.
Going into the Elder Dragon form, looking over at Moomiander. There's the Dragon Tail. They've got the Shadow Word, Illusory Orb, Moomiander very dead. Ooh, Plague Ward's trying to get a courier here.
He has a Midas queued up on the Marcy. What?
So
he only finished the Cluster of Haste so far.
Midas Basher, maybe?
I mean, I hope he's not going to go through with that, because that Midas is going to come at like minute 15 or 16. Like, usually you want to go for a Blink Dagger or some sort of
or even
initiation.
We've seen the Aether Lens in China.
That is so greedy. Like, that is beyond greedy. That's what I would get reported for in a pub game.
What, Midas?
Yeah, on a Marcy like that.
Marcy.
Dire's middle tower is under
Taking a look at this heat map here, Bryle spent a lot of time up towards top. Mid, obviously, lane there, so it's going to be quite bright, but the lights are on top where Bryle's been, and hopefully OG, they're trying to put on a blackout here and turn off his heat map and turn off the lights.
Does it scare you at all that he chose to not go for Blink Dagger and that the other initiator is going for Midas? Like, who's going to ever go in for
It does worry me that they're not going to really be able to walk into this fight or blink in and initiate, like you're saying. You kind of need that, especially with the way OG are going to be moving at you. You assume that Tyka's going to be getting a Blink Dagger. Icarus dive into the Supernova. They're going to go here for the Ursa over mid. The TPs are coming in, but are they going to be in time? It looks likely that they are. The Dream Coil is down on a 2. It'll snap on Bryle. Chaotic Offering, that's going to land on a 2. They've got the Fatal Bonds to follow it up. Saberlight ends up dead. He threw out that ulti, but to no avail. So they do come to save their Ursa. Yuragi feeling very protected by the rest of his team. And he's getting closer and closer to that Diffusal Blade. You can see OG, they're doing a good job of returning the favor of losing the laning phase and, well, saying, hey, this is how it feels, guys.
Yeah, they're also looking at Timato. Oh, he gets juked. Dragon Tail. Oh.
You heard the crowd.
I heard the crowd.
Oh.
Yeah, he didn't have it pre-clicked, unfortunately. Otherwise, it would have been that Terror Blade.
Oh, man.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Who now finishes
Same
Mantis
noise
though.
as you, man.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this kind of thing you can feel. You can feel. Like, if you're Tiger at that moment, you're like, ah,
His middle tower has fallen.
so close. Yet so far.
Bottom tower is under
So
attack.
bot tower is gonna fall to the Viper as well as the Golem. So opening up the map a little bit more for the Ursa. But the Terror Blade's still untouched.
And
Finishes
farming
Manta
really
already
well.
at minute 14. That's a very good timing. His next item is going to be very telling. If he goes into his Skadi, the Ursa is not going to be as big of a problem, but he will have to be careful with the Viper as well as the Puck.
Hasn't queued anything yet.
Yeah, usually they wait a little bit to keep us guessing.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah. It's not just because they haven't made up their mind. It's actually, they're trying
course.
to trick the observers.
Yeah, they're professional players. They know exactly what they want to do.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Sure.
He just finished a Magic Wand and a Clarity. Very, very,
Very telling.
telling, yeah.
Sure.
Telling that he's running out of mana.
Yeah.
Skadi. Okay. It's going to be Skadi.
Okay, so 450 until Ursa's got this Diffusal Blade to pick up the Yules on Saberlight. He's going into the Spirit Vessel, but that's after the Yules. Do you think that that kind of messes with the timing?
It's for the survivability. Also, it's a very reliable coil nowadays to break the coil.
Pretty quick Yules.
Yeah. And it's also a great item against Ursa, right? He jumps in, enrages, you Yule him, suddenly the enrage timer is over. And then he's not that strong anymore.
Technically, you cycle. Dream Coil coming out. It's on a Bryle, but they do have the help from Saberlight. Tosses him back as he jumps in. Looked like an alley-oop, and now Mars is going to go in. So Mumiander trying to get a kill here. They'll take out Misha, so they've got one. No Warlock, no Chaotic Offering. They toss him into the air once again. BZM in trouble. Taiga falls. And TSM making their presence felt in the OG jungle. And they're looking right on at Roche to take the first Aegis.
It's not the fastest Roche lineup, but yeah, they have enough left in the tank on OG, so it should be pretty free still.
Yeah, meta's up for a while. This will be, like you said, not the fastest, but with two heroes that are on OG, they're not making the move.
Yeah, Amas also is looking to catch back up. Went into the Dragonlance and Force Staff. Hurricane Pike first item on Viper. It's pretty unusual.
Still is the Rod of Atos queued up too.
Probably for the rest of the game.
So now though, even with the Aegis on TSM, do you feel confident as OG when you've got Dream Coil back up with Chaotic Offering and the Elder Dragon form ready to go?
I think it could just be a farming Aegis as well. Like, they're not really in any rush to do anything.
Right.
You want to have Terrorblade's next item before you feel really comfortable. But Tiny, he has a DD bottle and he has an Echo Saber, so if you can get on top of heroes, that's a big if.
And he's got the help of Mumiander and Saberlight to the side if they do make the jump. Like you said, no Blink Dagger yet on Bryle. He's finally going for one. He'll be that initiator. Not that it was necessary there in that last fight. They were able to walk up on the aggression of OG. They started, they went with the Dream Coil, and then the counterplay was there from TSM.
Yeah, that's really the only way for TSM to fight right now. They have to wait for OG to come to them until you finish that Blink Dagger on the Tiny, which is 600 away. I also have yet to see really the impact of the 4 DK. He almost has his Blink Dagger, so that's nice. But yeah, so far, Tiger wasn't really able to do a whole lot.
Taking a look at what Dubu's getting. He's going Veil.
Yeah, Veil is very strong, of course, with the Venomancer, amplifying all that nice, juicy damage.
So uncharacteristic of OG. They just, maybe not allowing, obviously TSM, they feel like they found their stride, but they are inside the OG jungle constantly. OG is not really the team that allows that so much, where they're just like, all right, you're in our jungle, you're making your home, you're finding your farm. Like, that's ours. They usually make sure to clean out these heroes. Blink past Mumiander, so they're going to try and get a quick kill here and maybe look for more. Bryle is in the vicinity. He does have that double damage active. They clean up some vision and, well, see what they can do, or looking to clean up some vision. place their own.
He has his Blink Dagger now, and DD is still active for half duration. So they might look up to do a quick smoke. Yep, it's just him and the Phoenix smoking up together. And whoever they find could die real fast. Viper is pretty tanky though. He's gonna sit at 2k health, plus the Essence Ring as well.
Gonna make the jump. But Taiga's on the mark first. He goes in with the blink as well. So Dragon Tail, the Chaotic offering is in. Avalanche was thrown out, so stops OG for a moment. They go with that ulti from the Venomancer. They've got the kill and a Saberlight to start. The Supernova is well too far back. That is forcing OG to retreat though. And now they look over at Moomiander. They've got themselves a killing spree on BZN. They get the kill into the Marcy. They look over at Saberlight once again. See if they can make a move and try and find it going the other way. Bryle with the Avalanche as well as the toss. BZM quite low. Bryle sticking with him. Tomato gets the kill, takes away the killing spree, and it ends up being a 2-for-1. But getting BZM is a big target and a streak going into their hands.
Yeah, they're very, very strong in the team fight right now with the Veno ult as well as the Supernova. Also a little bit unfortunate for Moomiander that he's the one dying first, because he's still going for that Midas. He's going to have that minute 20.
Oh, okay.
It's
One day, he might...
I can't believe that we're seeing two Midases in one game.
He might go to the blink, right? He's got to queued up.
I hope so. That would be very
He's not
late
going to go to the Midas and then at 27
Why do you have a glove of
minutes,
haste though on a Marcy?
Well, you can give up on the Midas.
No, it feels real bad, trust me.
I know it feels bad, but like Blink's going to feel better.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't disagree. I don't disagree. I guess we'll see what he does. But Marcy's not really a flash farmer, so it's going to take a while until we really will be able to witness what he's going to go for.
We'll find out in 17. Oh, he's okay. He bought the recipe.
Yep. Nice.
Real
well, if the game
gaming.
goes 60 minutes, he is going to be a
Blink.
core.
Yeah, he'll have Blink. Well, core might be ambitious.
Ah, Midas helps you farm, right?
Yeah, it does.
How many uses does it take to... It gives 160, right? So
yeah.
14 uses-ish?
Yeah, to get that that gold back.
It's not that long. Just like
experience is the nice.
Just at 20 minutes.
Remember the Midas patch? Everybody was buying Midas.
Oh yeah, I love that one.
Very fun. Oh, Blink Dragon Tail coming through after the Icarus dive. So Dubu in trouble. Sunray off the map. But well, he doesn't have a TP,
how does he get
so
there?
He's back. He's still dead.
Yeah, but how did he get there?
And there it is. It's the gravitational pull from the edge of the map that pulls you back. It's actually, that one spot is known as the gravity bind area.
I'm sure every spot off the map has that. That one spot is no different B-Cup, sorry. That's not how physics work in Dota.
There's physics.
You know, everything you ever learned about physics at school makes no sense in Dota. It's like its own world.
Yeah, it could have its own physics.
Yeah.
Aegis expires, so now we'll see if TSM, if they want to still fight or farm. Because Terrorblade, feeling like he's in a great spot. He's got the Scotties going into the Satanic.
So no BKB at all. Okay, that's a little bit risky.
Not yet. We've seen it in the past, right? Maybe you lose a fight and all of a sudden it's like, well, I need BKB.
This puck is pretty annoying.
It doesn't happen in pubs though. Usually it takes like 5 or 6 deaths before that person's like, okay, I need BKB.
But yeah, but you can't tell him. Because if you tell him, he's going to buy back.
I'll buy whatever I want. Tell me how to play my game. Taiga in some trouble. Avalanche toss comes in for the blink from Bryo with the right clicks coming out from Tomato.
What's a meta use though?
Popped that meta, yeah. I was going to say, that is a quick pop on that. Quick fingers on the Metamorphosis, and it would almost dictate that they go tower. Yeah, go for the tower.
I mean, they were going to do it regardless, but yeah, now the meta's going to be on cooldown. And I would hope that OG is going to try to fight them, really. Like, this Midas Ursa hasn't really paid off yet because you basically allowed Terrorblade to have an entirely free game, and you're already countered by him. So now he has his BKB. I really want him to put on the pressure now. The later this goes, the harder it gets.
True.
And they smoke up straight away. They're looking for some Stranglers.
Can they find any? They've got one in Moomiander. He doesn't have rebound even if he wasn't silenced, but he goes into the Unleash, and they'll unleash his life and take him to the grave. So Amar on a killing spree. He's quietly finding himself a lot of farm. He's third on the net worth. Like I said, you know, you may shut down his lane, but he knows where to go. He knows where to farm, and he knows where to pick it back up.
But he's also a Viper against the Terrorblade.
True.
Like, it doesn't matter who you are. If the matchup is just terrible, you will die. Does he have a shard in on Viper? No. The Amar's not the kind of guy that would buy a shard on Viper.
Dire's bottom tower
Is that by the way, is that terrible spelled T-E-R-R-O-R-B-L-E? Terrible.
Yeah.
are scanning.
How else would you spell it?
Just want to make sure.
Dire's
No,
bottom
just
tower
asking.
is under attack. Radiant's
Finally, the mid-tower is taken out. Minute 23. Super late.
middle
Very
tower
late.
has fallen.
Yeah.
You only see this if the games are completely one-sided. Generally, there's the tower still up, but
But it's not that
Yeah,
one-sided.
it's not.
Until we haven't really felt TB's presence, right?
Yeah.
He's been involved a little bit. He had that metamorphosis over in the jungle. They used it, of course, not that one just prior, the one before that, when
Yeah.
it got the Aegis. They
look
might
at his
just do it
quick
again.
by the way. He went for the BKB.
Yeah, he's listening.
Before dying, even.
So he recognized
Yeah,
that.
very
That's-
mature. That's very mature.
I know they were giving out stats on the stream, like they had other players evaluating other players. That's adaptability 99. I don't know if that was a stat on there, but
Yeah, I think so. Adaptation or something.
yeah, 99. Knowing before you die to get that BKB.
Yeah. You never want to give away the advantage, especially if you're 16k net. If you're 3k net worth out of the Ursa, like
It's a lot.
it's gonna get really tough to fight. Like Ursa needs to stick on top of Terrorblade for like a good 10 seconds. Probably needs to get like 2 overpowers off and a couple more auto attacks to really be able to threaten him. And how do you do that? Because he turns around, he hits you once, and you can't move anymore.
Yeah,
And if you can't move, you can't hit.
true. I've heard that somewhere.
Yeah. Alright,
BKB
BKB's flying
finished.
out.
Yeah.
It would be a shame if he gets caught right now. Oh, he doesn't.
No, he's TPing back.
Ever the wiser.
We'll say BZM and Brow are pretty much neck and neck in terms of net worth.
Oh, BKB on Tiny as well. It's a massive timing. 5-man smoke.
Yeah, this should
No
be a good
blink
timing where
on
they move.
Mumiander though. He'll have to use that Midas a couple more times.
Yeah, he's got 1,530 gold. They're going to try and make this move. It's not going to exactly line up with Roche as it's a long respawn.
He's
They do find a
90.
Mar. They've got the Avalanche as well as the toss. They're going to toss him back to Saberlight. The chaotic covering comes down with the BKB pop by Bryle. They look over at Yuragi. They focus their attention onto Mumiander, who's trying to heal up with the Unleash. Misha getting low, and he'll fall too to a neutral creep. Amar ends up dying to Bryle, and it ends up so far with a 2-for-1. They want more. They can't quite get it with the TP out.
Yeah.
But still not a bad fight for TSM. Unfortunately for them, Roche is not up yet, and by the time Roche comes up, it's going to be about 40 seconds before Meta's back up.
Yeah. So team fight is going to be pretty difficult. However, TB, like with the Skadi, he's not purely solely reliant on Metamorphosis. He will still be able to hit some heroes.
Right.
And they can probably still just delay with Venom Wards and spam it and set the reflection and whatnot, right? So shouldn't be too big of an issue. But you saw the Ursa's reaction, right? Terrorblade runs up the hill, and Ursa's like, oh my god, I gotta run away. I can't do anything to this guy. And who in the team really can? Like, I can't see a single hero that can deal with the Terrorblade right now.
Gale on Taiga, TP attempt, but he's got the Yules. Mumiander's there, so is Tomato, and this is a quick one.
Did you see the high five?
Damage.
Like before even you ultimate, just got like GG. I'm gonna Yule you.
It's like, oh,
Now, what
I'll
costs
get out.
more, Bika? What costs more? A TP scroll or 175 mana? What's more expensive?
What do you mean? Like
Because
gold to mana efficiency, like timing, or what exactly are you asking? What costs more?
I
'Cause
don't know
think-
what I'm asking.
I think you'd want the TP with Roche being up soon. So you could have just let yourself, you know, try and
Now, you know,
run around the trees.
that was a
Maybe-
trick question because,
Was I right? Did I get it right?
Top tower is under
yeah, probably, because I don't even know what I was asking.
What kind of professor are you? Dream Coil down, Mumiander dies, and Yuragi's got another one. That's a kill to get here that might allow them to go for Roche. Maybe not the biggest thing, but again, Tomato still without meta for 30 seconds. So how willing are TSM to go? OG know that Roche is up, and how quickly can they take it?
Just keep spamming illusions in, keep spamming fire spirits. Venom Wards is very difficult to just take this Roche free. As I say that though, they're just starting to hit it, and they're continuing to hit it.
Venomous Gale, a little bit short.
And it's almost
Through
down.
Towards the hill. Sunray, maybe. Can they Icarus? Time to go in. They're going to go with the BKBs. They'll look over at Roche. Yuragi going for it, but the Aegis is snatched by Bryle. He picks it up. They're going to fight man-to-man, or bear to rock. They'll try and fight it. Tomato joins in. It's going to be a 2v1. They get the kill here on a Yuragi. They'll take out the Ursa, and they'll look over at Amar. The damage is coming in with the help of the Avalanche to stun him up. They'll toss him away and take away his life. 2 heroes down on the side of OG, and they get the Aegis in their hands. Misha looking like a +1. Saberlight looking for the high 5. Misha won't give it to him, but hey, Saberlight, I got you.
it's just honestly, like, we spoke about how they have like a lot of just spam into the pit, right? Ursa was sitting at like, what, 80, 75% health maybe?
Right.
And Terrible just runs at him, hits him a couple of times. If he gets an Aegis, maybe there's a chance, but he had to preemptively already popped that BKB. So top ranks should be pretty free. Maybe they even want to go for more. No, Metamorphosis is about to expire, so probably not. It's just impossible to fight into the Terrorblade right now. Like, they made the conscious decision to go greedy on the Ursa, not to pick up the fast diffusal and put up the pressure. And this is what they have to deal with now. They will have to kill him once or twice. Maybe then they can like ramp up the damage on the Ursa enough to really fight a proper fight. But I don't think Timaru's giving it to them. The way he's been playing has been near perfect.
Taking a look back at this fight, you see the BKBs come out. There was the Waning Rift. They've got the Supernova over to the side. Just snatches the Aegis, and Ursa desperately needed that. And once he doesn't pick it up, Yuragi's pretty much dead already. Yeah. And then they look for more, and this is Amar. Yule's up into the air thanks to Saberlight. They'll lock him down, Avalanche Toss. This really was great execution from TSM. Just on the edge of knowing that Metamorphosis was going to come back up, so really well done.
Meander in trouble.
Meander, he got the dispose, but the rest of OG are here. They've got the help from Misha with the upheaval. They don't even need BZM to help get that kill. I saw that it was Yuragi who picked up the shard, and he actually did use it. So he's got that Earthshock shard upgrade.
Yeah. His super strong Timaru's gonna get found out here.
Tomato winning Rift. They've got the Aegis on Bryle. It's not up to Tomato. The chaotic offering. There's the Manta. Tomato with the BKB on the run. Icarus dive and ooh, gets away with the Silver Edge just by the skin of his teeth.
Invisibility is invincibility everywhere, not just in the MMR brackets.
So my bracket?
Yeah.
Okay.
Although you did quite, you know, you could climb a bit from when I saw in Romania, I believe.
I've climbed.
Yeah.
I'm still climbing, I'm learning.
Slow and steady wins the race, become.
Right now I've lost 7 in a row, but that's
okay, as long as you don't tilt. Don't tilt.
I've taken a little bit of a break. I'm gonna be bumping for my next goal next when I go back on.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
4K lead for TSM.
Yeah.
Still 2 minutes on this Aegis.
Yeah, they can use it as a farming Aegis still if they want to. They still have some items to go, but they don't want to do that. Smoke up as 4 into the enemy triangle. But of course, OG also knows that they aren't showing anywhere else. This is probably the destination they're gonna choose.
Who's here top?
I've just been looking around for OG for like some power spikes, power timings, like how do you deal with the Terrorblade? You have a Basher now on the Ursa. It's just you can't really ever jump into the Terrorblade. Like his illusions will just kill you. There's so much support for the Terrorblade.
BCM level 25.
Yeah, but it's still 5 levels away. I don't even know if he will reach 25 by the time the game ends.
If they can turtle it, if they can hold on, maybe they do. But TSM, they look like they're in a good spot to continue the onslaught. It's not exactly like it's out of OG's hands, but like you say, you don't really see or feel that power spike just yet.
Yeah, it's only a 4K lead, but you can see how scared OG is. They know this Terrorblade is just too strong.
Yeah, they're just looking to farm at the moment. Yuragi, he's going into the MKB. Tycho wants a Ghost Scepter. This Warlock, he's got Arcane Boots, so full build. And then, you know, Puck. Let's see what he can do once he's got the Octarine Core.
Also found the Paladin sword, of course. Ooh. Close TP out.
Amar's got this Halberd. How much is this really going to help him?
Not a whole lot. That's the thing. Terrorblade doesn't really get countered by Halberd because he has so many illusions also hitting you. Like Halberd is more like, I guess it's good against Tiny. He does a lot of single target damage with his Tree Club, but yeah. Like, it's just there's not a whole lot Amar can do in this game. Like Terrorblade is just too strong. There's nothing you can really itemize to counter him.
Blink in, Avalanche, and they're going to get the Dragon Tail. It's doing a Bryo. Do they have the damage to get the kill here out of the Tiny? He's still holding onto that Aegis. It's up for another 5 seconds. If the timing's right, maybe they can kill him.
They're waiting, they're waiting.
The Aegis. They're holding their fire, and they're going to look with the BKB being popped by Bryo. There goes the Aegis. Do they have the damage to get the kill? They're running into the Supernova. They've got BZM on the backlines. They get the kill to move in, and there's the Dream Coil. It drops Bryo like the rock he is. He turns into gravel, and they'll look over at Saberlight. They've got themselves 3, and OG holds successfully, and they'll take out this this TSM push. It was an aggressive play from Bryle, and it doesn't pay off, and it was wise for OG. Somebody checked the inventory, they knew, and they had the countdown timer when they wanted to kill him.
Yeah, they got really messy. So the mistake TSM made there is they went away from the Terrorblade. Terrorblade is basically your tower that you want to play around, but Bryle went in real deep, hoping that they would kill him and pop the Aegis, but OG was just like, no, we're not going to do that. Why would we?
Yeah, why? If we know, we know.
Yeah, and then of course the entire fight gets messy, right? Moomiander wants to help Bryle. They pop the Supernova to try to help Bryle, but ultimately...
Coil drop by BZM. I thought he might have put himself in a very precarious position, right? Like right by that Supernova.
Yeah.
Drop
but then again,
Coil gets the kill. And
Tiny dies. What stuns do they have, right?
Yeah, they don't really have many. And as TSM were free to take the tier 2s mid and buy, well, right now with no Tiny and no Veno, feels like OG, they have the ability to just take these towers for free. But there is that glyph from TSM. They're smoked up, and TSM are looking for their moment. They finally have Bryle back. He immediately TPs to the tier 2 tower, and with that, OG retreat, and it might be a wait
Moon
to
is
see
looking.
the next Roche. But as I say that, Misha's in trouble, and he'll be the next one very dead.
Gets executed by Timato. And he's dead for 70. It's not a short timer. They might be looking to pressure the high ground again. Did they use meta in the last fight? They didn't even use meta.
It's going to be tough. Bryle has to be careful about his positioning. He can't just jump in like that.
Yeah, you just want to play around the Terrorblading.
Yeah.
As I said, he's your tower. You just defend your tower. If they go on him, Bryle goes in.
Okay. So we'll see if they could do that now. OG, they've cut the deficit to just 2K.
Yeah. He needs, how much gold is that? 500 gold, and he will have the Abyssal Blade at the ready.
What does the Ursa have?
Abyssal Blade on Terrorblade,
He
not
had the
super
Abyssal.
common. But yeah, Abyssal Blade also on Ursa, of course. Is just
Yeah, he was going MKB before, so taking that check, and he does have that Abyssal
They
Blade.
need the BKB piercing lockdown, so it makes a lot of sense. They're still lacking damage though, so if +1 damage item comes out on him, they will have a very good chance of actually being this terrible in the team fight.
Taiga may be thinking about going in with that Elder Dragon form, but they don't commit to that wave push, so it's not quite what they wanted. An Elder Dragon form, it's got 3/4 the duration, so maybe they could use it at some point. Taiga's still sitting here up towards top if they were to make the move, and Yuragi kind of maybe showing himself as a little bit of bait.
Look at BZM, level 23. One more one team fight, you know, he is going to be level 25, and then those BKBs, they won't mean a whole lot.
Yeah, so they 4-man smoke. They've got Yuragi, the one who's not smoked. BZM, his smoke gets broken. He'll jaunt over with the Illusory Orb. The Fire Spirit doesn't land. Phase Shift Blink, and then another Illusory Orb over towards the outpost. TSM, they're looking to control, they're looking to go and maybe find their opening as they'll see the vision. But here they go on the side of OG. They've got Yuragi going in with the Abyssal Blade. It's Cat buffering off to the side. That's not going to do too much, but the damage is out. They get the kill on the Taiga. That Elder Dragon form's not going to matter with Duma going down and no Supernova out for the side of TSM. They might be in some trouble. There is no Phoenix in this fight, no Supernova to rely on and maybe fight within, as the rest of TSM need to get out of this one. The BKBs are no longer there. They've got the 4 heroes, but the Waning Rift, it lands on a 3. Can they follow it up? Illusory Orb again. There's Bryle with the TP as well as Saberlight. BZM is searching, BZM is looking, and here comes Yuragi. He's going to help. You're into the forest with the big bad bear, and, well, Yuragi will claim Moomiander as his token throne.
The fights are becoming very, very messy. Like, Terrorblade is just not getting to hit anyone. They're always just kiting him, running away from him. And that's exactly what they have to do, right? If you can't deal with the problem, well, not always it's the best choice, but in this case, just ignore the problem. No, kill everything around him. He can't 1v5 you. There's no way. Now the third Roshan is going to go Refresher Shard. Who's they going to go to? Could be good on the Warlock, could be good on the Puck. Maybe they will just keep it on the Ursa as well. He gave it over to the Warlock. It's going to be a double Rock. Double Fatal Bonds can be very potent, because we all know they stack. It's a lot of potential damage.
You know how Wraith King's got the Arcana? He takes the token bones.
Yeah?
You think all heroes should have access to that? They take the token bones and then they
it's too savage.
turn it into a chest. And
No, it's too savage because
get the bone throne.
we are child friendly.
Yuragi, BZM. Just put the pressure on, look for the tier 2 tower.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
BZM almost 25. That talent is so game-changing. Every time you get that Dream Coil, Pierce's Magic Immunity talent, Puck just becomes a different hero. And he's also going to the overwhelming blink, so he took some lessons from Yuragi. He's going to go in and out. That cooldown on the illusory orb is ridiculous. 5 seconds, by the way.
Yeah, we've talked about low cooldown things in the past, especially with that arc warding that had the cooldown reduction. It was quite low on everything.
Yeah. So probably they spoke about it. It's like, hey, can you do what I did the other day? And BZM's like, yeah, let me show you. I got this.
Illusory Orb cleaning up the creep wave. BZM.
25.
Level 25.
Oh, he takes the good talent.
The Dream Coil, pierces magic immunity. The rapid fire doesn't make sense here, but of course that Dream Coil magic immunity pierce is quite nice.
Now the big question though is he gonna get a Timeless Relic? Because Timeless Relic plus Dream Coil is ridiculously OP.
Ooh, they're gonna go. They found themselves Tomato for a second, but again, invisibility is invincibility.
Yeah.
Ragi now kind of getting kited a little bit. They need to be careful. They've got the rest of the team behind him. Our TSM willing to fight. They'll throw an illusion over. They've got Brau going with the Avalanche as well as the toss, but they've got the Dream Coil available to lock them down if they start to run. It was the Dragon Tail that hit on a Moon Meander. That will get them the kill. Supernova is very far back. And they'll look over at Yuragi. He's getting run down, but he does have this Aegis. So do you really want to chase the bear? We've seen it. And like I said, he wants to add the token bones to his throne.
Oh, they gave him the cheese last second, so he doesn't die to the Poison Nova. But Black Poison Nova isn't lethal. Yeah, I know, but there's a poison thing on it too. You know, we don't want to spread false rumors here.
No, not at all.
And they're looking to go high ground. Still no shot though.
Ooh, they'll find Tomato. Here they go with the right clicks. They've got the Abyssal Blade to follow it up, and they're locking down this Terror Blade. He tries to get Invis, the bashes with the Dream Coil coming in. They get the kill to Tomato. He has buyback, but he will not have Metamorphosis. They look over at Bryle. They've got themselves the Waning Rift. They've got the Silence to lock him down and take him out. So Bryle's gone. Tomato's out. The Bolt buyback. Down goes Saberlight. These 3 heroes are very necessary for the defense for TSM. OG looking to hold the high ground on the opposite side of the map. Well, here on TSM's base. Waning Rift once again. Silence is up 2. Moon Meander in trouble. The right click's coming in. BZM's got himself a triple kill. And now looking through, BZM, can he just retreat? Yeah, it's pretty free for him as the glyph is used, but OG, no need to back up just yet. They're free to do whatever they want. If they want to continue, they can. If they want to back up, well, it's their game right now. We're all just kind of living in it.
Yeah, but they should be continuing to pressure here. They also have those Shadow Word, AoE to keep them all full HP at all times. They have Puck to poke in and out, so they shouldn't really be afraid of anything. MKB now also picked up on Ursa, so there's a damage item we spoke about. He already shredded Terror Blade. With that item, it's going to become just that much easier.
Misha with the shard, using that AoE Shadow Word, healing up his teammates. BZM, he's going to bootstrap TP towards bot, or at least he was showing that he was going to do that.
And then he canceled.
And then he canceled.
Yeah, so now we have reached the point in the game where Terror Blade doesn't feel unkillable anymore, right? There's so much damage output now from the Puck as well as the Ursa that they have. Oh, he also finally finds the Timeless Relic on Puck. This is like the most broken item on him. Coil duration goes up, silence duration goes up, all the spell damage obviously goes up as well. There's nothing better. But yeah, like, what do you really do now to prevent the Terror Blade from getting kited? Because every team fight is getting kited, and post BKB, he gets taken down from full to 0. And there's not really a whole they can do. Maybe if the egg is in like a little better position, they don't have great heroes to keep him in the egg though. Or the egg radius rather. It's after the bottom fight, honestly, where they dove the base, the entire game turned on its head. It's been all OG since then.
Yeah. And OG still kind of hold the driver's seat. They're up so much gold. It felt like Ursa wasn't exactly going to be able to do much, but he gets right on top of the TB and then just lays it on him.
Yeah, has a DD now bottled as well. Not super potent on Ursa, still a strong steroid, of course. And you can see TSM is pretty darn scared to get out, so OG wants to take the fight to them. They need to deal with those Terror Blade illusions though.
Can't just let them wander and waddle their way towards mid.
It's so annoying when you see them just walk towards the lane. So Amar's going to be dealing with that.
So is BZM.
As in the Cane Rune too. Okay, let's see the cooldown of Puck when he gets to the Cane Rune. He bottles it, okay. He's a smart player. We all know he's a smart player, so we'll have to wait a little bit.
Man, look at that hero damage.
Yeah.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah. They're smoking around. it's just so hard to now find a good team fight for OG. There's still a golem from the back line every time. Mumian's just dead instantly.
Blew him up in just a heartbeat. Dream coil.
Oh, he broke the coil.
And he's going to break it on Saberlight. They should be able to get the follow-up on this one. He'll use himself into the air. Tomato never breaks his coil. He'll go to the ulti, but that's just to deter them from probably going forward for the rest of his team. He's dead for 75 seconds. He does not have buyback. Meanwhile, they need to be careful. These creeps were coming in top. Their first tier 4 is almost dead.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter so much, though, because they have complete map control. So I don't think...
They'd sneak it.
Yeah, they can't. They can't. Unless they're pushing top all the way. But yeah, BCM is being very careful. Of course, you don't want to have any random Terrorblade pushing into the throne or anything like that. Stealing that win from you. Because right now it just really looks like an OG win. Like, what do you really do against the Puck now? They build a Hex on the Venomancer, but he's so tanky on the Puck. He's sitting at 3.3k health with the Shiva's guard. They don't have the damage output to kill him, even during a Hex duration. So I'm not entirely sure what their plans to do with the Puck. Do they have any more Hexes coming up, perhaps? No. No Hexes. If BZM plays like he has, like he will solo carry every team fight pretty much.
Feels like that's been the control that they need. He's actually going into this Revenant's Roach.
Oh, very interesting. Not something we see all day. It gives you True Strike, and you can hit E-bladed targets. But they don't have an E-blade even, I believe. I mean, if you have that much gold, you don't really know what to spend it on. Why not?
Yeah. Why not? Why not? Ag's being built for Saberlight. We'll see if he gets into that. That's going to be a tough ask to get to that.
Yeah. These heroes on OG, mega scary. Almost Swift Blink also done on Ursa. And the items are just coming and coming and coming. The only rich hero is Terrorblade still, but we already spoke about that. You can't 1v5 in this kind of game.
5 seconds till Roche. Could be big if TSM take this fight.
Yeah.
But that's, like I just said, tough ask. Very tough ask. So they're going to have to be very careful if you're TSM and maybe get themselves a start-off kill with the Mar, but they're not going to get it just yet. He's got the Lotus Orb. He tosses his Brile up into the air as he tossed him. Yuragi's in, but now on the run. Supernova in a decent spot. They've got the Waning Rift. It's on to 3, so that'll stop them from moving forward. Coil's down on the 4. BCM, he's got the control, but does he have the life to survive it all? They get the kill on the 2, but they'll take the Phoenix. They'll look over now at Tomato. The Sunder reflected. No, 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 you do not get my life. I'll take yours. They'll look for Brile. They'll look for the team wipe. TSM's in trouble, and they only lose the Warlock. My, oh my, OG obliterate and wipe the floor with TSM.
It was really close for Terrorblade to be able to live there as well. You don't have the Satanic though, even after the Sunder. Ursa just shreds you to pieces. Puck lived on 50 health and gets like a double kill afterwards. So many good things were happening for TSM, but they just needed a little bit more damage. We see the fight recap here as well. They initially go on the Viper, but he's too tanky, and then look what Puck is doing. 4-man Waning Rift, 4-man Coil, and there's just way too much damage and Disable coming out from him.
Buybacks.
Look at Puck's health too in that replay. Ooh, 50 health.
Look at the Sunder. Nope. No thanks.
Lotus Orb is a great item. Oh, they're fountain diving them even.
Yeah. Any mantles dropped yet? No. Ooh, dispose? No.
Ooh.
Close.
You're
but
also dead.
Moonmeander will fall. BZM gets the kill, and everybody's dead on the side of TSM. They'll call GG, and OG will grab this first game.
I now also believe that means TSM is eliminated from the tournament, unfortunately. And it also means that if OG wins one more game, Nigma is not first in the group anymore.
Ooh. So still a lot to play for in the second game for OG. But I mean, that was a close one. I liked what TSM had, and then the gas ran out of the tank.
It was really just, like they played a great game all the way up to that bottom Rex dive, where the Aegis ran out, unfortunately, and then they all tried to hustle around Brile, try to save him. They give the team fight away, suddenly Puck is unkillable. You know, Puck is one of those heroes, if you don't have the tools to deal with him, he just becomes exponentially stronger.
Right. And
he showed it at the end. Like, BZM just played him like a fiddle every fight, silencing multiple heroes, coiling like, what, 3-4 heroes every fight. Kind of ridiculous what he did.
It was crazy what BZM was able to accomplish, especially with the fact that, you know, he was not top of the net worth. He was more middle of the pack. And eventually he feels like the strongest guy on the team for OG. And, you know, you do have Ursa frontlining. You've also, you can never discount Amar, but it really was BZM who was just pushing the envelope and controlling these fights and making sure everything was there. That last fight, 4-man Dream Coil, pretty beautiful. And, I mean, that's what led them to end up getting that victory. So they take this first game. We're going to throw it back over to the analysts to review this one and see what they have to say about it. So, guys, back to you.
Thank you. We're now seeing some of the highlights brought to you by Aramco of this first game of the series. TSM unfortunately losing that chance to force the tiebreakers with this one loss, but with an impressive performance from OG. To me, especially BCM.
God damn, that man is good. He is so good on the puck. He is, in my opinion, the only one that can rival Nisha playing the hero. He was just able to, look at the man, he's so beautiful, win so many team fights for his team. It's absolutely nuts, and even the Tomato Terrorblade wasn't enough to get it across the line for TSM.
Yeah, no, it wasn't, and it's kind of a shame because I think this is probably the best form we've just seen TSM in this entire tournament, right? Game, their first period versus Liquid, which is even still a 2-0 win for them. They were shaky before and after their power spikes, especially after struggling to close out games 1 and 2.
Yep.
But here, you know, even though they've got the right draft, they've got the right late game, and they're playing fairly decently in these fights, you know, no egregious mistakes. It's just OG are that one step better than them here and are going to get the win. The reason, of course, my tone here, slightly sad, is that this is going to be TSM eliminated from the potential tiebreakers, and now the top 3 teams of Group A guaranteed to be Nigma, OG, and RNG. The order, not yet determined.
We saw there on the screen, you know, the big Roshan on our fabulous big screen there roaring, and it was really just a game about playing around that Roshan. The fact that TSM were able to take that first one away from them, huge deal. Even the second one, being able to claim the Aegis, still so vital though that Yuragi was able to get that Aghanim Shard on the Ursa, meant that he was so much more capable of fighting into heroes like the Phoenix and the Venomancer.
Yeah. So we see this score screen brought to you by STC. We're going to analyze some of the more intricacies of this game. TSM, despite getting that first Roche, OG never really gave up. They seemed on the back foot for the first maybe 10 minutes after the laning stage, but then they quickly recovered. One of the characteristics that this team has always been able to feature. As we go into the analysis of the actual picks, we talked a lot about the Veno versus Viper. Richie, did you feel like the Veno had the impact you wanted from him in this game?
I do, actually, I really do. I think that Saberlight played a pretty fantastic game. The Yule Scepter allowed him to get the ultis off when he needed. The Shard, in addition to Aether Lens, allowed him to really get the Venomous Gale off from distance, which is generally a big problem with this hero as well.
Yep.
Some Plague Wards around, and of course the Scythe being nice. But as much as I did like Saberlight's itemizations, the reason that this pick kind of fell a little bit flat towards the late game, I have to say, was because of how well Yuragi ended up itemizing here. It's not shown here in this final 6 items because of course he sold it off, but he did go for the Midas early on, and that did enable him to scale very nicely from what was a pretty difficult lane. He still did well, don't get me wrong, with only the 1 death, of course. You know, not a disastrous lane versus the Venomancer, but the Midas is what really enabled him this game.
To be able to keep up or close to it, of course, we've been singing Tomato's praises. Look at that scoreline as well, 9, 2, and 6. But just to be able to keep up with that farming potential as an Ursa, it's a big deal, right? You have so much fewer avenues to be able to pick up that net worth, and I thought Yuragi did a fantastic job.
Okay, well, I mean, we get to talk about the numbers, but sometimes it's easier to see the things happen themselves. Wait a second. You see Danok here today, as you can see by this beautiful suit jacket. Can we get a little close-up on that? He dressed up today as a university professor for a reason. He thought that you guys could get taught some Dota, and that's exactly what we're going to do right now.
All right, I'll wander over because class is in session. We have another Weatherman segment prepared, and it's a pretty hype one. In my opinion, by far the MVP of that game was BZM. Like, he was phenomenal all throughout that, and it's really centering around this team fight. Well, you'll be able to see it a bit closer once we get into it, but have a look at the net worth lead. It's in TSM's favor. Have a look at the time, and more importantly, have a look at what objective needs to be picked up on the map. It is that Roshan. So I'll be able to play it for you now. And he just does so much in this fight. He's holding the gem at the moment on BZM. He uses the illusory orb for the vision, makes sure to D-ward. TSM knows just how important it is to be able to fight around this one. Dubu instantly places it back. Now he's looking to move around. He's looking to try and snipe. Right now, the most important heroes for BZM to take care of in this team fight, you can see them here. It's Dubu as well as Saberlight. If he's able to avoid the ultimates, if they're able to really minimize that impact, they're going to have a fantastic time. So he goes into the trees. He's still hiding. I don't have TSM's personal vision for this one, but Saberlight knows that he's there. So he tosses, as Secret Strike was saying, that Aghanim Shard Venomous Gale, looking to try and interrupt that Blink Dagger, prevent a lot of this movement coming through. Bryle knows it too, so both of them know the key linchpins for this fight, and you can just see the attention being given over from both of these heroes, as you'll see once the clip starts playing again. They try and lock down BZM, they don't get it. He instead uses the Waning Rift. I believe he is inside of a phase shift right about here right now, and the important thing is, look at what he expends. The Yule Scepter needs to be used on the Venomancer, so he's already wasted a lot there. He's been able to right-click Dubu in addition to Yuragi so that the Aeon Disc gets procced, and then he just retreats. He's done his first job, that first initiation coming through. Then he comes around this left-hand side, gets in onto the Phoenix again, is able to dodge out the Poison Nova as well, and then follow through after that. BKBs are starting to expire, so he knows that he's completely free to continue chasing down the rest of the team, and he does just that. He's able to get, again, just more and more damage onto all four of these heroes, continue chasing, and I'll give you a quick pause here. Oh, never mind. Give you a quick pause here so that we can focus on this number down in the bottom left. That is the Roshan, just around to respawn. OG realizing the important factors for this game. Sure, he's not able to catch out the Tiny, he can't catch out Saberlight, but he just gets that other quick kill in Moon Meander just as Aegis is starting to become available again for this Ursa lineup. Such a key team fight, and that was just one out of many that BZM had for the game. So big props to him. We'll throw it back to the desk.
The desk which you belong in, Danog. So
Yep.
please get back.
Right
here.
back
I meant
on
to
over here.
teleport, man.
And Danog, during the professor's lesson, actually, I've got an update from the other line of games, which is running concurrently, also Group A. Liquid did manage to take Game 1 off of RNG. Ooh. That was a really exciting match, honestly. Oh, it was Mickey on the Tidehunter. I thought it was an offlane. It was a Tidehunter mid with some fantastic items. I don't want to spoil the results of what he really built, but they did win the game, which means now that RNG can only have a maximum of 5 points if they win the next series and draw versus Liquid. So, if OG win this next game, they are guaranteed that semifinal slot.
Ooh, and I wonder what that's going to mean for who's first, who's second, who's third as well. But we will have to wait and see. Make sure you've got both streams open as well. Obviously, if you can hear us, you're talking to us here, you're listening in, just add another tab. Add the _B just so that you're catching all the action.
You can do that multi-stream, Twitch multi-stream thing.
Yeah, let's go with that.
I'm a boomer. I actually I have to use 2 screens to be able to watch both streams. Usually one is on a TV.
You have 2 screens? Wow.
Yeah. I have one of those like old analog TVs, and I like
you walk up and turn the knob.
I walk up and turn the knob. I put the computer next to it, but you know, we need to
get through all like the Twitch channels, and you got to scroll endlessly.
Yeah, to be honest, it actually takes a really long time, and I have to go tune in on the talent room right now because my radio is broken currently. So you guys need to give me some time. I apologize. We're gonna take a small break, and then hopefully we come back with Game 2.
مع التحديث الجديد لستي تي بلاي تجربة جديدة للكل. لو جوك دايم تحديات نافس وانضم للبطولات، استكشف الشات والتايم لاين وتسوق من متجر التطبيق. الليدر بورد على تفاعلك بالتطبيق، والجوائز الأسبوعية والشهرية على نظام النقاط تنتظرك. ستي تي بلاي، مهما كان جوك هذا محلك.
We're live here. Hello, welcome to the panel once again. Game 2 between TSM and OG is about to occur. Richie, careful, don't get hit by that camera.
Oh, yeah, there she
That
goes.
was a close one.
There
Close
she goes.
one.
She's zooming along there.
Yeah, much like these teams are zooming along to finish the series.
Great segue. Great.
Yeah, yeah.
Fantastic.
Good save.
Yeah,
big
thank
claps,
you.
big
Thank
claps. But game 2, that's where it all comes down to. Of course, not so much to play for anymore for TSM. Obviously, they needed the 2-0. But OG, they still want that 2-0 because of what you were saying before, Richie, with the outcome on the other stream, with Liquid being able to take that game 1 up against RNG.
Yeah, indeed. TSM, of course, already basically locked in at 4th. They cannot improve. Liquid, of course, now improved to 2 and 5. Best they can do. Well, actually, I guess say that if TSM, yeah, they would like to get that extra 50K for what is 7th to 8th place finish, right? So they also still have something to play for. It would also deny OG of a super clean and guaranteed first place and direct to semifinals round. I'm not sure. I haven't done the math on the calculations quite yet on what that would really look like.
We'll figure it out eventually. But if you told me I could play 1 game of Dota for the potential to win, what, 1/5 of that, my share of $10,000 out of the 50, I would take that. I mean, there's a lot to play for still, and pride. I mean, Ana is a very proud person, hates to lose.
Fair enough, but if I was TSM right now, right, you told me that the guys who beat me the last major, I could take away their chances of ending well in groups. I am taking that over any sort of money. You know, that's the real Dota player. You don't play this game to enjoy yourself. You play it to make others miserable.
Yes, and I have to say, TSM, I thought their draft was better. I just have faith in OG to be able to perform in those clutch situations.
Right.
We saw it there with BZM multiple times. I mean, Tiger with the Lotus Orb. Like, it was crazy, the amount of like big plays that they had to make to overcome this super farm Terrorblade.
Yeah, if you had Sunder, I think if it's Sunder that fight properly, right? I think they probably turned that around.
Yeah, they probably win the game, to be honest. They had to use a couple of buybacks previously, so they wouldn't have had the availability to come back into the fight if you continued the push.
I even have to really commend like Amar's itemization this game. Nothing too flashy, right? It's basically the essentials what Viper needs, right? An earlier Hurricane Pike, and then the Heaven's Halberd immediately, and then finally BKB. So you're still able to have a decent amount of impact throughout the game, and was able to get a couple of clutch disarms onto Tomato more than a few times.
Well done. Well, I'm really excited to see this game too. There's another point as well to be made for why TSM is playing this, and you made this point a little bit, Richie, earlier in the first draft, which is that they're looking to see if they can solidify that mid to late game ending of the games, you know, making sure that they don't make the wrong decisions. They've had usually like maybe 5 minutes of loose Dota, not the tightest Dota, not the efficient one, and this is a good, really, really good practice session for them.
For sure. I think, you know, the case in points here for this one is right about that second Aegis, right? Where Brian was able to snatch it. However, Yuragi's still getting the shard.
Right.
OG with a pretty good pickoff as they are able to kill, I believe, Moon Meander right after he bought Blink Dagger. So he didn't have buyback for that crucial fight, right? Against Ursa, you always want to contest second Roche with everything you got.
Sure.
TSM, of course, still well aware of that. So they show up to the fight anyway, and Timato in position, ready to go at that time with the Eye of Scotty, is actually still able to beat back the rest of OG despite, you know, being a man down.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see. As in this game number 2, I'm interested in what these drafts could turn into as well. I'm curious because will TSM bring something different to the table? I mean, they seem really prepared with the first couple of picks, particularly getting rid of Amar's heroes, but then the Viper still seem like an issue. Can someone stall Amar? Like, he just plays these lane dominators. He still has the Huskar, for example, which hasn't shown up in a while. Still a possible lane dominator for him. What are the options? How do you stop this kid?
Good question. I mean, I feel like TSM had the right idea at the very start of the draft, and like we were saying, they drafted the DK. I know it's something that's been done in the past before. Some people will say it came from SEA, some people will say it came from NA, but
the people from SEA are right.
Are correct, yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly.
It was Zephyr. But
thank you.
The big thing is they had that flexibility. You have the potential to move this Viper into a support role, whether it be 4 or 5, if you were really wanting.
Oh, I thought I was going to get to say hi to myself. Did you see that? Timato was opening the Twitch stream.
But basically, it meant that you didn't have that danger of being run over. Like I said, they picked that Marcy super early on. It's a very dangerous lane if you're having to go up against that as a Viper. So
hey, it worked!
You'll love it. You'll love to see it. But yeah, it's basically coming through where they use this DK to maximum effect, right? I think it's just so good at so many things. You've got farming potential. You've got pushing potential. You're sturdy. You can go into multiple lanes. Like, instant stuns for something like a puck if the enemy team chooses to pick it against you. It's just a really solid hero that now even has the potential to go late game with the Aghanim Scepter. This is something that's come from NA, like Gunner building a Manta style after the Ag Scepter to even give vision, just standing the illusion on high ground.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like at this point, you know, because with the discussion revolving around Amar's heroes, like you have to wonder if TSM ought to go for a slightly different opening. Because, well, here's the Timbersaw first phase band again. If they go with the Razor as they have done last game, as they have now done 6 games in a row, you have to wonder if something's not working. Yeah, as OG immediately snap picked the Viper yet again.
Well, okay, but maybe they're following the Puppey ideals, and I think there's a point to what he's saying. You know, you stick to your guns. Maybe what's not working is in-game. Maybe what's not working is outside of the draft. And I like that they're sticking to their guns. I agree that they should just keep on trying until they admit that this is broken or find exactly what else is broken here. I mean, Puppey, it took him a whole DPC season. He's finally figured it out.
Yeah, and it's not to mean that, like, you know, Misery, obviously, pretty smart dude, right? I don't think he's in any way surprised, like, oh my god, they picked the Viper again.
No,
like,
they knew it.
They have something prepared for this, right? So yes, I like that you point that out, because, you know, that's not what I was trying to come at this from. It's just
of course,
6 games in a row. We'll see. Maybe this is the one that works for TSM.
I just like stubbornness. You know, the more stubborn you are as Dota team. I mean, Kuro, he's been stubborn for like 3 years. He's doing it now, so it's just a matter of the long term.
It's a matter of time. You know, eventually, if you keep hitting that forehead against the wall, it's gonna break. One of the two.
That is true. No, the wall. If it's my head, the wall is going to break. Let me tell you.
But back to the draft, we do see the Viper come out here. This time around, they made sure to ban the Marcy. They were really scared about the potential of going up against one of the strongest supports in the game for this Viper pick. So this feels like they don't need that flexibility quite as much. I was thinking they might still go down the DK route because it was into the puck. Mid lane, not too bad. You still have the flexibility to move it around, but clearly the Tiny, such a strong pick still as well. So the thing is, for me, I think the way that TSM need to do this is they need to be playing heavily around rotating through to Amar's lane and making sure to punish him. Like, eventually you're going to get a Dragon Lance, you're going to have, like, Power Treads, you know, be this fighting reasonably tanky menace, but if you've got a Nature's Prophet TPing to you, if you've got a puck rotating to you, you're gonna die, right? There's no way for you to be able to TP away. I want to see a couple of stuns come out for TSM, a strong-ish lane that's going to go even on farm, and then just punish him with kill after kill past the, let's say, 6-minute mark.
Okay.
Yeah, you highlighted the Marcy ban last time around for OG. That was instead where the Furion gets banned, so they are going to immediately pick that up for TSM. Perhaps that was part of the strategy versus this Amar kind of threat you're talking about.
And a lot of respect coming through from Dubu as well. I thought he played a pretty good game too. A couple of eggs weren't perfectly on the mark, but the Sunrays almost always were. So making sure to take that away so that TSM don't have that potential. Of course, it's such a great ability to be able to scale into the late game for what we're assuming could potentially be a mid-tiny. Of course, there still is the flexibility, but I think you just want to make sure that that percentage damage against one of the beefiest heroes in the game is taken out of the equation.
Yep. And now TSM takes away the Void Spray just in case Tiny does not go mid. Make sure they take away the biggest puck response out from the OG pool. We'll see. Maybe this means that TSM is looking to pick other heroes that also deal with a Tiny, like the Bane or Dragon Knight, whatever it is, to make sure that mid-Tiny feels less appealing.
Very possible. I think they could very easily go into a Winter Wyvern, though, on OG. I think it's very good against the puck, just to be able to set up for that stun combination with the Tiny to come in. Even against the Nature's Prophet, you're able to prevent a lot of the split push. Even just having the Treants there as a target that makes it a full duration Winter's Curse, as opposed to just that 2-second one to set up if you're just tossing it out randomly in the lane. So I really wouldn't be surprised to see that one come out for OG. And it's going to be up to TSM to be able to respond to that.
Okay. Okay, so they get rid of the Lycan, they're really getting rid of all the Zoo. They still have, once again, the potential Visage on TSM, and they want to run that.
Yeah, and this time the Ench is still open for them as well, which OG banned out in game 1.
True.
So those.
Yeah, I like the Ench, actually.
I like the Ench.
Yeah, so that's a potential solution here too with TSM. They could just open up with, once again, they'll ban out the Lone Druid. We talked earlier in our first draft how impossible it kind of feels to ban these like last pick out of nowheres, but 2 games in a row now for the Lone Druid. And can I just say very quickly before we move on to the next one, I've been really impressed with Bryle in the last game, and overall throughout this tournament. I don't think that the that last game, or if you just take a look at TSM's score in isolation, really speaks for how much this guy has been doing for the team. I think he's playing at a level that is even better than he did at the Stockholm Major, to be honest. He's playing very well.
I think the whole team is playing really well. And actually, what's interesting is that all the TSM matches have been really good, and their opponents seem to be elevated by how well they're playing mechanically. Like, TSM certainly does not look like a weak team, and I don't think their scoreline necessarily represents the skill level to bring into this major. Sorry, to this
big event.
Major event. Major event is what I meant to say. Apologies for that. Thinking about Stockholm. But yeah, the Dawnbreaker is being picked up here from TSM as well. Is this Dawnbreaker as a support?
Well, previously they've paired it together with a Chaos Knight with pretty good impact, and I feel like that's a reasonable way to go about it, right? I think this could be like a position 4 Dawnbreaker paired together with a position 1 CK. Again, it gives you that potential to go about and gank the Viper as much as possible. CK, strong laner. So if I'm TSM, I'm probably looking to go into something like Ench plus whatever core Tomato wants to be playing.
If I'm OG here, I'm really considering banning this Nyx Assassin right now. I do not want this Ench to be enabled as a core with a Furion as well. That global lineup is terrifying between these two heroes.
And it's now an even better Wyvern game. Into the Dawnbreaker, you just curse wherever that Solar Guardian's coming out. But it's a Lich instead. All right. New hero Pog champ. I love to see it.
That's really good, actually, because the Frost Shield damage reduction, what, up to 70%, will work against the Dawnbreaker's Starbreaker, right?
Well, it's bigger. It's a bigger deal if the Dawnbreaker's a core, of course. Like that's really what you're looking to try and itemize for. But even just for the chase down potential, right? You toss that onto a Bristleback, very effective. And if they do go down that minus armor strat that I was talking about with the CK into a Viper, that makes him very squishy. Suddenly a Lich is there with all of that physical damage reduction. Then Viper's actually able to just stand and man fight.
Oh, fascinating choice. I mean, we talked about this earlier. I think it was another panel, Richie, that you were talking about this, where the Viper got banned. When they need another break, what break is their Hoodwink?
Yeah.
And certainly still a hero that seems fine. Usually when a pair with a stronger offlaner that has some kill potential, so this might indicate Dawnbreaker's not that offlaner, but it looks like a strong hero, and it certainly looked that way before we reached.
They've got a lot of like pickoff potential on TSM right now, right? You Sprout, that gives you an easy bushwhack. You don't need to use the Acorn shot. Sprout into Solar Guardian as well, able to come through. Dream Coil into Solar Guardian. So that means that OG are really going to be mindful of Amar, because he's a great player. This game, he is very capable of feeding consistent kills unless you're constantly in place to be able to protect him. Like, they are going to be focusing hard on this Viper to make sure that he gets a slower than usual BKB, because fights just become so much easier once he's got that BKB, and probably a 4-staff is going to be on the agenda for this Lich here.
Yeah, I'm really thinking about this Hoodwink pick, because I still maybe would have liked to see the Ench a bit better, if only because it has that Dispel versus this Frost Shield, which is going to be a really big problem for them. This NP is going to have a lot of difficulty scaling. If this Dawnbreaker is not a core, it's not as big as a deal as you're saying, but you know, with the Luminosity crit, as well as Adesso being commonly picked up on a core Dawnbreaker, you're going to severely be needing a Dispel against that Frost Shield. So that's something that's a little bit scary. Oh, the Ogre, sorry, the Troll, pardon me.
Yeah.
What does have a Dispel on his Scepter.
I am interested by that though, because usually Lich is considered pretty strong against Troll.
Agreed.
Against BB, you just look at away, and Troll seems very, very weak.
Right.
I mean, I guess if you go for like the Diffusal Blade build on Troll has been the more popular one these days. Bristleback could suffer to that, but it is an interesting pick. I wanted to point out one last thing that I think is interesting TSM is doing is both Sprout and Bushwhack reduce or take away your vision, right?
Yeah.
Which is particularly fantastic against these heroes like Bristleback, who just come in and give vision to your whole team. Viper fulfills that role in the early. Tiny V's core also does that. And being able to prevent that initiation can be huge for TSM.
Yeah.
But the Bristle, like, he's one of those heroes that he doesn't need a, like,
vision. He just hits things.
He hits things, and you're building into like you know, a Phase Boots, Vanguard, Aghanim Scepter. You can hold on to the Quelling Blade for quite some time, right? You are able to have that item slot free to be able to deal with this lineup a little bit more effectively.
I like the starter pick. What do you think of that?
It's some instant catch that they needed for the puck outside of the Tiny. I don't think you can address it with just one hero at this stage. It's still way too good. The fact that you haven't exactly revealed what the position 1 is going to be is a little bit of a concern. I mean, if I'm TSM, they've actually gone ahead and banned the Terrorblade themselves. It would have been a great TB if they were able to get it now, just all of that high armor. But it looks like it might be a POS1 Dawnbreaker.
I think POS1 NP, though.
Maybe. Possible. Tomato might use the Tomato cosmetics if it's a POS 1 MP, the new one that came out, the Treants, they're all turning into tomatoes.
Right. When an
This tomato.
when an Australian says that, it makes sense. Now I understand what you were trying to talk about earlier.
Yeah.
The tomato tomatoes, there we go.
He's, you know, Danog is always spamming tomato for tomato. I mean, it just never ends. Make sure you do it as well, chat. His TSM with the win here, you know, again, do guarantee themselves that 4th place finish. OG already moving on. And with this draft, actually, I kind of favored them here, to be quite honest with you. I think Hoodwink feels slightly underwhelming.
What about you, Dunham?
I am just such a big fan of how they're able to take these team fights on OG and identify what's going to win them the team fight, right? What is the key thing that we need to be focusing on? I think that's by far the most important thing in Dota right now.
Okay, we'll see if Danong's right here and Tomatoes for Timado are going to be strong enough, or if they're going to lose the second game as well. We're going to go to our casters to narrate this wonderful encounter.
Thank you very much, Avo. And this is the second game. We'll see if OG can take it 2-0. You said there was something on the line for this second game. And are you right? Are you sure you're correct with your information?
I never am. But
Never am. That's why I don't listen to him, guys.
Dude, I do think that I'm onto something, though.
Okay, you might be onto something. Are you onto something with this draft?
For OG, yes, I like the draft quite a bit, but I feel like this Nature's Prophet should really be suffering against the Viper and Slaughter lane. It's not going to be easy at all for him.
They gave him the Viper this time again. It was those bans, Timber Razor.
It's actually on Tiger.
Give him the Viper. I think they felt after last game they beat it with quotations in the laning stage.
Yeah.
And maybe they thought that they could do that again and work towards splitting the series. Elimination or not, there's Dota to be played. Give it your all.
Wait,
Never give up.
OG, Nigma went 1-1, right?
Yes.
So if they're tied for the top 1 and 2, I believe there's going to be a coin flip to decide who's first.
No. I'm not going to guess. I'm going to tell you right now, I am not guessing.
Yeah, check the rules.
I don't want to check the rules. I don't have the rule book in front of me.
It's right there.
Oh, it is right in front of me. It says, this is unofficial information. This is Wikipedia. Come on.
Yeah.
If there is a tie over 3rd or 4th,
6 from 8.
Yeah, I couldn't read it all. Tiebreaker matches will be played. 2-way tie BO3, more than 2-way BO1. For ties that are not resolved via tiebreakers, the following metrics will be used. Head-to-head, number of 2-0 series, record versus the first team below the tied teams, continuing to each subsequent team below the tied teams until the tie is resolved. 4, coin flip.
What does randomization mean?
Randomization.
RNG generator?
Maybe. Like a number generator. I never get picked.
I choose 1, 3, and 5.
I mean, I guess you're playing then. Oh, what is this all chatting going on?
Biggest stream on Twitch.
Yeah.
Big
room. Fan, Misha. Same. Liar. A little bit of with the cleanest room. You know, all that. Thank you. We'll see. We'll see how this game goes. Let's start breaking it down a little bit. We'll give our cooperative Nostradamus prediction. That's the right words, yeah?
Sure.
Cool. Well, Tomato's reconnected, but we'll continue. Laning stage, who do you think wins? How do you think each lane goes? Winner, loser?
Okay, let me see. So we have 5. Alright, so bot lane should go the way of TSM.
Okay.
Prophet and Dawnbreaker are very strong early on, especially. And you have the free refill, which is very strong against Viper.
True.
And Slaughter shouldn't really be able to get on top of you. Easily, at least. Then mid lane, Tiny versus Puck. Wow, just like the last game. So it's going to be 5-5 trade farm lane again. And then we have... Was it Hoodwink and Brewmaster against... Alright, Lich and Bristleback should destroy that lane, like, real hard.
We'll see how it goes. We'll see how the lanes, if you're going to predict it correctly. I'll come back to you for mid-game in just a moment, because we are going through the portal into this game number 2.
Yeah.
And it should be a fun one. I'm excited. The first game was fun. I thought it was very back and forth. I think TSM had their moments.
They played the lineup very well. It was just unfortunate they made like 1 or 2 really grief mistakes.
Yeah.
That ultimately ended up costing them the game. And it was purely based because on them having a lineup that is meant to play aggressively, right? Sometimes you're a little bit over-aggressive. You get punished for it.
Sometimes you're over-aggressive and you win the game. It's 50-50.
It is 50-50 always in life, isn't it? But Roshan is like an absolute pushover this game. At least if OG does it.
Right.
Slaughter plus Bristleback, like, he's gonna die in like 5 seconds.
Okay.
Or 4.
Or 3.
3.5.
Okay, we could agree on that. That's fine with me.
Yeah.
So we've seen safe lane Bristle here. We've seen it in the past at TPC. What's your favorite build with this Bristle? And hold that thought, because I think Saberlight, he might be in a lot of trouble here. They've got the tree toss. Saberlight, he'll turn around knowing he's dead. BZM recording first blood. OG, I think, what, second game in a row that they're getting first blood in this series?
Yeah, it's... I don't know if you didn't expect him to be 4 there. Maybe they thought it would be 4 on the bottom row instead. But yeah, that's the first blood for the Tiny, which is going to make the mid lane quite a bit harder for the puck. And your question was what again? Sorry, I never really listened to you.
Nothing. You know, now you've insulted me.
Don't be like that.
now I've got nothing. Amar's on the Slardar, Taiga's on the Viper. Baited them, thinking maybe Viper was Amar's hero.
Yeah, they also played as 5
pick.
on Misha, so they're very flexible with that Viper pick. I'm just curious why exactly they picked the Slaughter. Obviously, it's very good against the Prophet, because usually Prophet's strong timing is that like BKB. But when you're a Slaughter, you don't really care too much about the BKB.
Pretty true. Some may refute your knowledge, but then they get called out for it because you've been right.
Thank you.
About what, 95% of the time?
Around there.
I'll give you 96.
Everybody's allowed some mistakes, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Come on. Would it be life without some mistakes? 7-0 for this puck over mid. We saw Bryle have a very good start in the first game. I mean, realistically, TSM as a whole had a pretty good start. They opened up the game for Tomato quite a bit on that Terror Blade. Now, this time around, they've got a puck, a hero we've talked about that makes its moves, gets that 6, maybe is the jumping off point for the side lanes because he comes over, Dream Coil, you get 1 or 2 kills, and your side lanes might feel a little bit more confident.
Yeah, this game is not as free of a puck game as it was last game, though. It's going to be the Slaughter as well as the Sinister Gaze of Lich. You have the Tiny Avalanche as well that you can't phase shift through. Until you get a Kaya Sanch at least. And yeah, it's not going to be easy. We have to see how strong Tomato gets early on. And Yuragi didn't skill into the Goo just yet. Once that comes out together with the Frost Nova, there's a lot of aggressive potential.
Yeah, that viscous nasal goo, quite thick and
gooey. Don't
want to be having that all over you. And Saberlight's on this Brewmaster. We haven't seen a lot when we've been casting Chinese Dota. We've seen it here or there, maybe in the 5, maybe in the 3. In this game, how do you think it's going to do?
It really depends on how good Saberlight plays the hero. It's very much like an expert sort of hero, where we've seen, as you said, in China even, some players are amazing with it. It looks absolutely broken. Others are like, it just make it look very average. So we'll see how Saberlight performs on this.
I mean, wasn't it one of the lower teams in the division that like
CDC,
ratted? Yeah, CDC in Division 2, who ended up getting promoted, were basically using, what, Ag's Refresher to just use those charges to take towers and buildings. It was disgusting. Moomiander, meanwhile, he's getting low. Those quills are hitting, but they're not killing just yet. You don't want to get too many quills in you. I've seen so many pictures of people who have messed with porcupines in the past.
Yeah.
Even dogs. Accidentally bite the porcupine and they're just like, this is my life now.
Spikes are never fun. Even the spiky fences.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you tried to climb one as a kid for fun.
Miragi. Saberlight, you need to be careful. The turn is potentially there. But he, again, still hasn't gone into the Viscous Nasal Goo. He goes level 2 into the Quills. So he wants to maybe just feel a little bit more confident. He's got this Ring of Health. He can step forward, throw the Quills, add that damage, and potentially get a kill that way, especially with the Lich getting a level or 2. But I say that, Misha's been caught. He'll ask for Roche's help, but he won't abide. Moomiander gets credit for the kill over on that Lich, and Moomiander coming out of the lane for a second does allow Saberlight to get a little bit by himself. But it's not really changing much for where Yuragi's at in his game plan.
You never get the bash when you want it. He really wanted the bash there to get the deny. But yeah, never happening if you want it, only if you don't want it. And level 4 for Bristol. Okay, he goes to the Goo.
Saberlight, Viscous Nasal Goo. They've got the Sinister Gaze, and how sinister is this gank? Not really at all. That was a low-level villain.
Yeah. Still growing. Early game.
Yeah.
How do we call them? Movement actually now. There's the bushwhack, of course.
Yeah, but he's trying. Ooh, that was a good job there by Yuragi using that quelling blade to take away the tree potentially. Then he might have even been bushwhacked too.
Yeah. Honestly, you can never really get bushwhacked in the middle of the lane, just because if you're very on top of your game, you can always quelling blade the tree that's gonna come out.
And you can kind of see what he's doing. He's quelling blading. He's quelling. Don't even use the word blade. Hold on. Saberlight. He's going in. He's looking for Misha. Misha's got the help of his shield, so Saberlight, he's in some trouble. They want a high five. They'll go after Moomiander next. He needs to run, but these coils hurt. They're going to stack bushwhacks there. Moomiander should, with that, survive. And as I was saying, you know, Yuragi's using that quelling blade to chop down these trees to make it harder for the bushwhacks to land if they want to make that pressure move.
Yeah, it's the same as when you play against a tree, right? You just want to get rid of as many trees as possible. But this is very good for Hoodwink though, because he's going to reach level 6 fast, which means you get into the sharpshooter fast, and that is the biggest problem Bristol will have to deal with for a long time in this game.
I guess the question becomes, do they have the control then and follow that up and, you know, make the kills and make the plays happen?
Misha in trouble again potentially. No mana on the puck.
Avalanche toss coming through into Moomiander. Now he's the one in trouble and dead. BZM happy for the feed, the injection of gold. They've got the Starbreaker coming through on a Taiga on this Viper, doing some damage on a Bryle. Dream Coil committed. Phase shift. No Avalanche for a second. Does landed on the edge. Oh, Bryle so close to dead, and he's got no boots. He's on the run. Tiny's trying to catch up. He'll pick up a tree. High five, Bryle. Oh, phase shift. No. Not tricked. BZM, he's got it. He's got the kill, and the crowd's excited about that one.
Yeah, boots of speed, saving lives. Not today though. Oh, he's getting pulled back in on Moomy, and the Viper's ping as well. Do they have enough slow to kill him? He has no TP. Oh, they're staying on top of him,
this is
and
a problem.
he's gone.
Yeah, he is looking like he's going to die eventually. Bottom lane too, Tomato, he's in trouble. Slithering Crush, Sprout. Ooh,
one more hit.
Creeps blocking him. Oh.
Both.
The Treants, the Creeps, they were all against Samar on that one.
Yeah.
I mean, both actually, and then the way I was putting it metaphorically, I guess.
And we know how much Amar likes getting tipped. He's definitely going to get tipped back on Tomato. Maybe even right now.
Oh, yeah. Now he's got the help from Taiga. Welcome back to the lane. This is the welcome party. Tomato wants mercy, but they ain't going to give it to him.
Yeah. And it's kind of the problem that you're running into when your nature's profit against Slaughter. Like, he's level 6 now, so the same becomes pretty much impossible.
Oh, gosh.
Saber, like
what? Avalanche toss? Okay.
He just ran in that
That is not what you want. Sinister Gaze, they'll go after Bryle. He's got the Illusory Orb, so he should survive it all. Moomiander missing the Bushwhack, too. That is not what you want, and especially not what you want from Saberlight.
Yeah, I don't even know how he ended up there, and low enough HP to actually get burst down. Now Moomiander dead as well.
Oh, gosh.
Coil on the Lich.
Yeah, well, Misha, he'll not survive this. It's a trade, I guess. But this feels like more of a...
Hasted Viper. He might be in trouble.
Oh, Bryle on the run. High five again? Okay. Well, that's not going to work out for you.
Now, why does the tree toss give vision and slows and damages? What else does it need to do?
And if you've got the shard, it cleaves. Well,
it cleaves either way.
It stays, you know what I mean? You get to keep it.
Oh, we're getting amplified. You never want to be amplified. He's going to slow somebody hammer.
Don't.
And
oh boy. Level 6 on the Viper. They'll run down Dubu. It is just all OG at the moment. They are 4,000 net worth. Oh my.
Do you like the sound when Slaughter bashes someone? It sounds so violent, right?
It's very... goof. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that is... sounds like it hurts. As it should. Highest amount of kills at 9 minutes on any hero this event. 6. We were doing a lot of 9-minute stats. We had the last hit stat that came up at 9 minutes. Avalanche toss, who will get the last hit of said kill if they get it. They go into the primal split. They'll look with the hammer and the Starbreaker. The Celestial Hammer does the damage. The Starbreaker gets the kill, and Dubu will get credit for that one on Misha. They've got the Bushwhack to follow this up. It's hard to kill the Bristleback. They're going to try, though, but his back is bristled, and his bite is deafening. They'll go in, they'll get the kill on the Saberlight. This is not looking too great at the moment. Maybe if they get the kill into the Bristle, but it's already costing them so much, and they're running around. They get the kill into Dubu as well as Bryle. Finally, Yuragi dies, but Mumiender falls. It's 4 heroes dead. On the side of TSM, they are throwing bodies and hoping something sticks.
Yeah, and guess who doesn't give a damn about any of that? Yeah, it's Amar. He's Mask of Madness. He's happy. He's farming creeps.
Third on the net worth. Very far ahead of these other heroes.
The Tiny, though, is becoming an absolute
monster.
Menace.
A boulder, if you will. He's not so tiny anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, certainly not. Even Tiger on his 4 Viper, like, seems so impactful. It's actually kind of crazy.
Tiny's not a hero that snowballs. He rock slides. Right?
Avalanches.
Oh, that too. Well, that's snow. Just rock is rock sliding.
They see Timado running at him. They have no Blink Dagger initiation, but he gets rooted, actually.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Timado, that's not what you want. Avalanche comes in. By the way, Dubu's dead. Amar, he's got another the Sinister Gaze to lock down Timado. That's going to be 2 around the map. This is a monster kill streak for BZM. Really just disgusting what they're able to accomplish right now.
He's into the Midas on the Prophet, but he is very, very, very underfarmed, obviously. Going to the puck again.
Yeah,
Can't get out.
Avalanche toss, Bryle. Oh, boy.
The poison! No, he's fine.
Is he fine? All right, you say that, and he's forced to use Dream Foil defensively again. Not this time.
Not this time.
Ooh, Wrath of Nature.
Not that wrathful today.
Yeah, not yet, but they are up top with 3 heroes. They're trying to get a tier 1 tower, and they will. So they succeed in getting something here.
And guess who doesn't give a crap about anything? Still Amar.
Amar.
It is still Amar. I love the way he plays. It's just so, like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. I wonder if they're like, hey, Amar, can you TP? He's like, no, I'm farming.
What do you think?
What do you
the
mean?
answer to that? Yeah.
I'm farming heroes. I'm farming creeps. Like, what do you want from me? I'm 2-0-1, 86-15. Oh, by the way, Bristle, I have more net worth than you. Oh my. He's going BKB Blink on that Swordar next. Tomato, what do you got over here? Got yourself that Midas. You're looking for the Maelstrom, but you still sit pretty far behind.
Yeah, Slada is going to have a Blink Dagger now, and if he finds that Prophet split pushing ever, he's just dead. There's nothing you can do. You can't Sprout him. Well, I guess you could Sprout him, but Sprint also gives you unit walking, obviously, so you don't even need Phase Boost on the hero. You're dead.
Ooh.
That was a shot and a miss.
Got to calibrate the scope on that one. Hyper Strike waiting Rift. They've got themselves the silence. They're going to look here for Taiga. They've got 4 heroes joining into this one. Is that really what you want to be doing to commit here onto the 4 position Viper? It's a lot, but they don't lose anything, so it is a positive.
Yeah, certainly is. So Amar's sitting at 2.3k gold. Didn't buy the Blink yet, didn't buy any components yet. He's probably thinking hard.
He's waiting to hear what you say.
Oh. Well, he already bought it, so I can't say it now. But I wanted to say, yeah, should buy
well, you were talking about Blink before, so maybe he caught up and.
Oh, right, stream delay, whatnot.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense.
They're definitely not watching stream, guys. Come on, relax. I was going to do a little bit of chat interaction, see if they were going to go BKB or Blink, and let chat decide.
Chat is always wrong, even if they're right.
Chat's 14k, dude. I don't know what you're talking about.
Combined.
Sorry. It's insulting a lot of people. I'm in chat right now.
You should be working. What are you doing in chat?
Not actually. But BZM, he's farming. He's top of the net worth. He's rolling like a boulder.
He also has a double damage and 300 gold away from Blink. And then they have 2 Blinks.
Yeah,
and they can also do Roshan whenever they want. This game is very, very open right now for OG. Looking for Saberlight, but he's just waddling away.
Doing the waddle.
Can you call it waddling what the Brewmaster does? Sort of, kind of? A little bit?
I mean, I don't know. It's more like the upper body. I guess it's a little waddle.
Yeah.
You know, it's really where the gravity falls on him.
You know,
Then he's
farming
waddling.
3 lanes in Dota B Cup is usually illegal,
Yeah,
but OG has been doing it for like the whole game.
the whole tournament.
Whole time.
Like, seriously, we talk about it a lot with OG, right? That the fact that they get away with where they're able to farm so aggressively and they're not getting punished. It's 16-7. They have a 5K lead. You talked about Amar. He's got a lot of farm. Like, all 3 cores on the side of OG are super farmed for this moment.
Yeah.
They want to grab Bryle, but
They're going to blink on Tiny now too, so who is safe? Nobody.
nobody. Tomato may not even be safe here. Had his tier 2.
But he wants to be safe.
You'd like to think so. Top lane. Blink
See
looking for
you.
the Slithering Crush. He's got himself the Corrosive Haze out onto Moomiander. And he's just going to give up. There are multiple fights going on. It's a 2-pronged attack. The Solar Guardian comes out. It's going to slam down out onto the Bristleback. Yuragi saved by the Sinister Gaze of Misha, who's sprouted up. I mean, it feels like Misha's really not taking that much damage from this Nature's Prophet. They get the kill on a Saberlight. He's not able to get the Primal Split off. Dream Coil is used. Yuragi still soaking all this damage. They are not going to kill the Bristleback. He's able to run. They've got the Celestial Hammer down, but they don't want to jump towards it. They just want to burn some trees and maybe deter OG, but that's not happening. Great phase shift from Brau to avoid the Slither Crush coming out from Amar, and it's a 1-for-1. They finally did take Misha, but they never got Yuragi. He was at about 100 health and still oh so confident.
Yeah, also nice AWP dodge at the very end there. Otherwise, he might have died. Potentially not. But yeah, he's very close to his Aggron Scepter now, and then they're probably just going to go Roche.
And that goo gets even thicker.
And more widely spread.
Yeah. Starts to get spelled with 2 C's. So OG, you know, they're not trading too much. They're still farming around the map. They're extending their lead. What do TSM have to do?
I mean, they're running a Prophet lineup, and Prophet lineups are always designed to be very aggressive. So Brewmaster and Puck will have to find some openings that Natural Prophet can TP into, and they need to start killing heroes. They were not supposed to be 7k behind at this point. 8k, sorry. Because they don't have a whole lot of damage right now. Bristleback is very tanky, Tiny is really tanky. So Slarda, like, who are you gonna focus? Pick your poison.
I pick Viper because he's got poison. Thank you. I appreciate the chuckle. You're chuckling, chat saying cringe. It's okay.
There's some ha-has in
It's
chat.
a little ha-ha. Yeah. By the way, Tiny going Axe. I'm interested in that.
Tiny going Axe, okay, yeah. Makes perfect sense with Echo Saber because all the time, like, every time you get hit by a tree, you get slowed with the Echo Saber slow. And that's also basically like the quote-unquote hard carry build out of the mid nowadays. You go into that, and then Silver Edge, and just pure damage. You become like an artillery, basically. Which is very good because you already have a Bristleback at the front, you have a Slaughter at the front. If any hero is amped and you throw these trees at them, they're dead.
Oh, okay.
Anyone.
Look at that TP out. On the cliff, being the ward himself. It's like when SpongeBob was becoming the flower, saying photosynthesis. Tomato was up there saying, I am the ward.
Yeah, he must have been because he's trying to build an Aggron Scepter on Prophet carry, which is really unusual because usually it doesn't really do a whole lot, especially against BKBs. It gives you a nice root, but nobody wants that.
So
Might just be a placeholder, you know?
Okay.
Don't get too excited. But it's not that good.
I am excited though. Already.
You got back to the top.
Yeah, they might be able to get this kill here out on a Bryle. Oh gosh. Yeah, never in doubt. There was a lot of damage there that came through and ended up getting this puck down and out.
Oh, they're going to Roshan now.
Yeah, they're going to go for Roche. They're trying to take this Aegis. First Aegis of the game. Look how quickly he dies. Where's your armor, Roche? I thought you were supposed to be this mini-boss. They'll go for BZM. They've got the Sharpshooter, but here come the TPs. They committed with the Solar Guardian. Now Dubu's in trouble. Celestial Hammer, BZM burning out, ends up dying to Saberlight. Now Dubu, though, he's in some trouble. They've got the Brittle up into the air thanks to the Cyclone from this Primal split. Last Panda, last hope, and, well, now, last life, it seems like. Saberlight goes down, Dubu drops. 3 heroes gone inside of TSM. That was with Bryo dropping top. Double kill for Amar. Comes with him all the way across the map, and they end up getting the Tiny. They get the Lich, so it's not nothing for that, but it's costly.
Yeah, they actually made up 2k gold difference in that fight, despite trading like even heroes, because they killed a very, very, very rich Tiny. How is Timado looking? Still has the axe queued up. I just don't think he's gonna go through with that. Like, it makes no sense with the BKBs coming up.
Sure, maybe. I'd love to know what he was thinking. I want live comms. Look at this heat map. So he's been around a while.
Yeah. Well, his natural property can be anywhere at any point in the game, right?
But he does have some bright lights there on that heat map. So he's been in specific places, obviously longer, even though he's got access to everything.
I mean, he likes the enemy triangle because it's the safest spot on the map right now.
Acorn shot, Bushwhack trying to pick up the double damage, still commits to it, and now he wants Moomiander. Okay, my life may be low, but yours is none. And that means Taiga wins.
Quite
for sure.
handily too. It was an unfair fight though.
2v1.
Backed him up, exactly. And he's still looking for more heroes. He has a BKB now, so I don't even know who can stop him. Well, Timado's dead.
Yeah, this isn't looking good. The right clicks are in, and the damage is out. It's just not looking good here for Timado. Is he still committed to that Ags? No, he's going Gleipnir.
Yeah, the Ags would have made no sense.
But this is a very rough time to deal with as Puck TP. Oh, Blink looking for it. There was the gas he tried. That would have been super impressive.
Yeah, was very, very close. The radar a little bit broken. Need to recalibrate that. And they're probably just going to be looking to destroy the mid tower now. What's Taiga going for? Good old Rave Pact, of course.
Ooh, Tiny's got the axe.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of damage. It really will be. Like, if he catches the Puck solo now, he's just dead. At least if you're next to trees. Because, believe it or not, because that axe does nothing, there's no trees around.
So it could be a waste of 4,200 gold, you're telling me.
If they buy 5 Quelling Blades on TSM and cut the whole map, yes.
I love that the tree volley icon looks like Swords of Revealing Light. Basically what it's doing.
Yeah. He's just, so you're saying BGM is basically Yugi?
Maybe.
Okay.
I mean, I'm hard pressed to say if that's the right answer. I feel like, if anything, Yuragi's closest to Yugi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would make sense. Uh-oh.
I wonder if he wants to change his size and whatnot.
No, he gets a little bit taller. I mean, that's what I could wish for.
No, you're fine, man. You're fine.
Oh,
the tree.
only one tree.
The crit. Oh, yeah. I'm just kidding. It doesn't have any crit.
Tomato.
Fake drama.
He's over here just farming where he can. He's got that Gleipnir.
Oh, they know he's there?
Uh-oh.
Must peek.
Amari wants it. He spots Tomato. There's the Sprout, but... Well, all right. Greater Treant. Not sure that's going to matter. Avalanche comes in. Toss up right on top. There's a bash. A couple more right clicks. And, well, Tomato's been squished into some ketchup.
It is just so simple. And we already spoke about it, right? Nature's Prophet in this game really doesn't have any good matchups. They picked the Prophet really early into the draft, right? They must have. Because like, all the cores are very good against him. Quite surprising they put him as a carry. So Bryla's still pushing out the bot lane. Amar's waiting. Oh, if he gets a bash, he might be dead. Ooh. Ooh. Ah.
That's a little sneak peek at our rap album.
He is going into...
Oh, Dream Well, all right. Age is gone.
Wow, but it was about to expire.
Yeah.
Maybe not that.
It kind of works out in their favor. They've got the nice Spire down. Bushwhack lands on it too, so maybe they can follow this up. They've got the Sharpshooter that lands on the Misha. They get the kill there onto the Lich. They wanted that to hit onto the Bristleback, though. All right, Saberlight. He's going to Cyclone this Bristle. He needs to keep the Bears alive this time. But there goes one, there goes two. Now this last one's an endangered species, and they just exterminate him. They have made his Bears extinct.
That damage is absolutely ridiculous. Now Puck is a little bit trapped in the top lane. 40 seconds cooldown on his TP. Amar's looking for him.
Going all the way back. Uh-oh.
The fish anglers are tinkling.
Can he catch him? Blink and blink. But now he's got the catch-up. Not with Tomato left. Ketchup, not Ketchup.
Oh, they're all hunting him though.
Yeah, they
He's got
want
the face.
Ryle.
He's going to use his really well.
Spire.
Wow.
Chain Frost, one shot. All right, and now he's taking him on a trip.
No TP for
Just
10.
doesn't have his rocket ship.
Ow, 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 ow,
Well, that, yeah. Okay, that's gonna hurt.
I like how he voice chatted because he thought he was saving it, Papa.
And then he's gone. Bottom lane, Starbreaker, Tomato. I mean, maybe him and Dubu want to try and make something happen, but Yuragi's pleased to take this fight. He's ready to high-five you, and with that hand, smack you down. But, well, instead, Dubu, he'll TP out, and he'll high-five Tomato back in the base. Okay.
Tomato's going for Nullifier. So he's placing very high stock into dispelling that Frost Shield, of course. That could potentially be a big problem, but they just have a massive lack of damage. They can't kill the Bristol, they can't kill the Tiny.
Yeah,
probably not even the Slaughter, who's going to a Moonshot, so he's going full like right-click damage.
They have a massive lack of survivability, too.
That's always the case against Slaughter, though. It just makes you feel so squishy. Do you see that pocket full health, 2 trees, boom, boom, you're gone.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It's more fun.
It is not fun.
And they're hitting the high ground and no one's there to defend. I mean, at this rate, might just be a free Rex. There's a Wraith Pact as well.
Well, you've got a lot of extra damage coming from the 10 stacks of the Warpath. Hitting for just about 600.
Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen.
When you've got all 10 stacks up.
Yeah, that's the flat as well.
It's free racks, then they move over mid.
I mean, Timato's just TPing in and canceling it every time. He's like, yeah, I'm not entirely sure what to do at this point.
It's very tough, down 15,000 net worth. He's trying to push out bottom with the Greater Treants and the Gleipnir, but he needs to be careful. He's been spotted multiple times.
Stuck on the little hill.
Is that a little name tag?
I feel bad for him. Yeah, he has a name tag.
What do we call him?
Joshua.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say maybe a Jeff or a Cooper. I don't know. That one's Cooper.
Justin?
Justin? No. No.
Radiant's middle
Christopher.
tower is under attack.
Sure, because he's walking here.
Exactly. Well, mid-range also no defense. Like, they're just giving up their Rexes for free. Second time now.
Every single time it feels like they're just giving him up for free. And here comes the volley, but oh Molly, that ain't on it. He'll just pick up another tree and he will just go for the racks, and there goes the second set. Yeah. Tomato wants to feed the trees, but he's getting fed trees forcefully. They've got the Sword Guardian coming in with the right clicks coming in from Taiga. They get the kill to Saberlight. They'll take out Dubu. 2 heroes gone to the side of TSM. And again, a tier 3 looking free to drop, as well as the racks. It's going to be mega creeps and, well, a lot of hope lost here for TSM in bringing this game back. I say that, though, top tier 3, that goes down. Tomato's in with Bryle, so they're base racing, and I don't know if you can see me, but I am throwing quotes up because there's the tree volley, there's the kill on a 1. They'll take out Bryle, take them both out. Base race this because we just erased you.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot left in the tank.
They'll fly back on Saberlight.
Yeah, but Yuragi's there. He's hitting real hard. Be careful.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, with your pandas, he's hitting real hard.
These pandas don't survive long. Oh, no. Oh, 2 pandas gone, make it a third. 1, 2, 3 bears, you're out. Or 3 pandas, you're out in the old ball game here. And Yuragi, Misha, they're getting joined with the entire side of OG as they open up the throne. And the tree volley into the base. Moomiander, you're not even safe in your home. Avalanche, they want to toss him out. They're going to make you feel it if you don't call GG. Dubu drops, GG is called, and OG, they take the GG and get the 2-0.
Making it look real easy in game 2. That draft was quite a bit stronger. Like, I don't understand how they ended up with the carry Prophet, because he had like 3 pretty bad matchups.
Right.
But yeah, this win was pretty important for OG, I think, because that now means that they're overtaking the previous #1 leader with 6-2. And as we all know, the winner of the group goes directly to the semifinal.
Okay.
So there's a break tomorrow, I believe, for them, right?
I don't know for sure. We'll see how the brackets play out. I'm not sure. But we'll get that information a little bit later. I do know it does push them into a higher prize pool. It pushes them right there. It is quite nice of a feeling to take first in the group. And I mean, OG have really put it on, and they have shown up. And it has been quite the performance from them. they've made a lot of these victories, if not all their victories, look pretty easy, pretty simple, and teams need to figure out when we go from group stage into these BO3s, into this playoff bracket, how do we beat them? Because it seems like teams are approaching this the same way in the draft. It's either Timber, Razor, Viper every time. It's 2 of the 3. And then OG's just like, all right, you left the 3rd one. We're going to take that. Or maybe, you know, Amar's like, all right, well, this game I kind of want to play Void Spirit because I'll kick ass on something else. And that's exactly what he does. And it's disgusting what he's able to accomplish. It really is. And it's crazy what they're able to do in forcing teams to bend to their will in these drafts. It is really impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it just fits the OG playstyle so well, though, right? Because they're like so suppressive. Like every time they get a lead, they won't really let you come back into the game. And yeah, as you say, they have like such a freedom of draft when it comes to Yuragi and BZM, which also have like a massive hero pool, so it makes perfect sense. You know, you just put him on like the 2-3 heroes all the time. He's like, yeah, whatever, I'll play it, I'll tank it. Well, this time he had a fish, and he played very well in that one.
Yeah.
And if you give him too much at all, he just is going to carry the game from the offlane. You know, you have so many threats on this OG lineup, honestly. Yuragi can take over games. We have seen BZM take over the game as well. And now Aman, this game, probably the MVP.
Yeah, it looked really good for OG. It was quite disgusting, and we're going to hear more from them. We're going to send it over to the interview. Guys, take it away.
We are joined now on the stage by the one and only Misha, captain of OG. Misha, first of all, congratulations on the victory.
Thanks.
All right, bud, I gotta know how you're feeling. It has been 640 days by my calculations since you were last on a LAN.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be here?
I mean, it's amazing. I also thought about it like yesterday and the day before, and like I haven't played on LANs for like such a long time that I actually, you know, like I forgot like how it all looks like maybe like it's all like even like half fake, you know, like I forgot about everything. And when I came at the first day, I got so excited after like first loss. I felt that people try hard so hard against us. They really want to win so much, and it gave me so much energy. Like I didn't know like it's like a real thing. Like everybody's been talking about it, but now I feel it. Like it actually gives you so much energy when enemies are like trying to do the hardest. Like I love it. It's amazing.
معنا ميشا كابتن فريق OG كان يتكلم على تواجده لأول مرة في بطولة لان من سنة ونص بعد غيابه عن فريقه في اللان الماضي قبل سنة ونص تقريبا. فراح كنا نتكلم على حماسه على تواجده في البطولة وإنه قد إيش هو قدر يرجع حماسه في تواجده في اللان بعد عنه فترة طويلة، وقدر بعد الفترة هذه إنه يرجع كل خبرته في اللعبة وتواجده في الستيج وتذكر كيف شعوره وكيف يقدر يلعب في منافسات اللان.
And talk to me specifically about the emotions coming to this event, because you know you may be arriving a little bit late. I know there was a little bit of concern on whether you're going to arrive. There was that kind of oh no, not again, because you know mixed feelings. Your boys, they went and won Stockholm. You couldn't be there, but now look at you guys. You know you are top of the groups. You've pipped Nigma. You're already in the semi-finals. Are we looking at another grand final topper for OG?
I mean. Sep Magic is also involved a bit because when I arrived, I like slept only like 2-3 hours. We go into scrims before the officials. We played like 4 scrims and we lost like 3 out of 4 and we were in like horrible shape and we felt like we need Sep buff. We asked him to come to talk with us and he inspired us once again and helped us to find our way. And I think this is all thanks to him because like he like helped us to like gather and play like real Dota, like aggressive Dota. Real OG Dota, so thanks to him.
اللاعب كان في كونسيرن انه احتمال كبير ما يقدر يتواجد معنا في البطوله بما ان طيارته تاخرت وحصلت في مشاكل في تواجده معنا، لكن قدروا بالاخير حتى بعد جيته المتاخره بتواجد سب معهم احد اعضاء فريق او جي قدر انه يساعدهم انهم يرجعون البوتنشل حقتهم ويقدرون انهم يفهمون اكثر كيف يقدرون يلعبون وكيف يقدرون انهم يسكرون حتى بعد جيته من السفر. ما نام الا 3 ساعات حرفيا وتواجد معنا على المسرح وقدروا انهم يخسرون المباراه الاولى لكن فازوا باقي المباريات.
And finally, talk to me a little bit about the dynamic change. So I think you were kind of glazing it over there. Seb, No-Tail usually are there. They're always behind you. You can rely upon Papa. They took a more backstepped approach here, right? They wanted to step back. Do you feel unleashed, like you've got control, or does it kind of feel odd to not have them there lurking?
I mean, OG family are always trying to reach out to us. And this tournament, actually, Sep and No-Tail asked if we need their help. And they said, like, we can come with you. We can help you with full power. but we feel like we are pretty ready to go into our own like journey, like this exact tournament as a team, because like we learned all the lessons and we are ready to use all of this like by ourselves. And we felt like, yeah, this is going to be our first like solo tournament as a team, like bonding and stuff. Like, I think we are ready. Like, gonna be fun. Yeah, without them even.
نوتيل وسب من فريق او جي كانوا دائما يدعمون الفريق ودائما يتواجدون معهم سواء كان في حاله انهم يحتاجوا اي شيء، وحتى عرضوا انهم يحضرون معهم في اللان تورنمنت، لكن حتى بعد عدم تواجد نوتيل الا انهم قدروا انهم يسيرون مع بعض اخوان ويرجعون مره ثانيه انهم يقدرون ينافسون بافضل صوره ممكنه، وهذه اول مره ان فريق او جي نشوفهم يجتمعون مع بعض بالصوره اللي احنا نشوفها فيهم اليوم.
And what a journey it has proven to be. Congratulations on the win. Enjoy your day off tomorrow as you watch the other teams and figure things out, waiting that semi-final. We look forward to seeing more of you.
Yeah. Thanks to all the fans here. You're amazing, guys.
Okay, guys, that's going to be all from us. Let's head across to the desk to break down this amazing series from OG.
يعطيكم الف عافيه اعزائي المشاهدين والحضور. راح ناخذ الان فاصل بسيط ونبي نرجع لكم نكمل المباريات معنا زي ما احنا عارفين اليوم هو بيكون اخر يوم معنا في الجروب ستيج، فعلى طول فاصل بسيط ونرجع لكم.
عايز تترجم راب؟ تعالى لي. ملوك السين دي انا ملخصه في سطور، بس مين يقرا؟ فاهم؟ كلام الشارع ده